think we're good on Twitch.
I have no clue. Okay, so we're on. That's our cue. What's up, everybody? It's just me and Charles today. Andrew is busy. Too busy for us, but don't worry, he's got important things to do. Just us, and we're doing our 78th episode here. Sports Goofs. How you doing, my man?
I'm good. Another day at the office, balancing out everything. Happy to get my little de-stressor right now since gotta switch it up a little bit. We can only legal so much, ladies and gentlemen. We can only play so much video games until we roll our eyes and then not watch sports, even though we are a sports-oriented show, out of fear of,
jinxing,
ruining everything. Even though I did watch Mightiest Sports yesterday. So it was interesting. I will say this, if you have your daily gratitude, I think my gratitude of yesterday would be I watched like 2 football games and a baseball game, and it all led to success on all ends because there was fantasy football implications. We'll talk about what the formerly known Big Papa Dumps, was doing now that he's trashed trios. And give shout-outs there. But I'm good, man. Surviving. As Freddie says, hey, Freddie, NHL Drafts tonight. So that'll be a lot of Charles saying, that sounds... I'll be basically playing the game of, can I pronounce this without even messing it up?
Can you pronounce the funny Canadian European names?
Yeah, can we do this? Even though it shouldn't be that hard. How you doing? What's Francisco's world like?
Work. I mean, I just prepped for the show about an hour ago.
He prepped.
Yeah, I just put everything together. I'm like, let's just throw this together, and let's see what happens. I put my bird away. I have a bird for some reason now. And it's been quite a day. A successful day at least, and at the office, you would say. So that's good. Just trying to motivate myself. I downloaded a Doom mod that I'm going to play tonight after this. So I'm actually excited for that one because it's kind of like a Skyrim type of mod, which is...
So basically we're going to go and follow... instead of saying Fuss Rodell, you're just going to have guitar ripping, slashing going on.
Yeah. Valorant is sponsoring us again. And
they know good quality.
Yeah.
Like we know good quality, real recognizes real, ladies and gentlemen. We recognize Valorant Act 2 now available, new agent, new battle pass, new content. Play now. Yeah.
There's a new game came out. Was it Rogue Squadron or Rogue something?
Yes.
Rogue Company? I think that's what it's called. That popped out. It was on the Switch. I downloaded it, but I haven't even tried it yet. I might try it sometime this week just to see what it's like. I try all these free-to-play things just for like maybe like half an hour, a good half an hour. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna waste my time on that. Most of them are like that. So
they're stocking stuffers. But for anybody, any parent out there or any poor person who has a Switch, we encourage you to play those because at least you get some time occupied.
Yeah. Now Rocket League's free to play, so if anybody's down for that, you can do that too.
Overwatch is going to do a free trial for their Switch, and I think you're going to get that a lot for the last gasp of the generation of consoles. Granted, when I say last gasp, it's really like 2 more years, because not everybody wants to shell out over $700 for a new system along with the television.
Yeah, PS5 and Xbox Series X. But I mean, if I was somebody, I'd be leaning towards Xbox at this point. They've kind of been killing it as far as the features,
the higher quality.
Yeah, the features and stuff like that. I probably won't because I have my gaming PC. It pretty much is that anyways, and I could get Game Pass on it anyways, so it's not much of a difference. The Oakland A's are useless.
They're
trash. They're on the bottom right of our screen. I got All-Star Baseball 2001 on the screen as well, and it's the Astros versus the A's too. And it looks like Craig Biggio just got a hit, so the A's are useless in the video game realm as well. So, all right. I guess we can pop into our topics for today. We'll talk about the NBA later. I have scores up here. The WNBA Finals is up there. I think Seattle's up 2-0 on Las Vegas in the series. So, there's that. NFL Week 4 happened. I do have segments ready for that too. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be real fun. But let me. Actually, I could pop out some small segments now. I might as well.
Let's do it.
Let's get these out of the way. Let's do some.
It's called foreplay, folks.
Yeah. So let's go with this. Ooh, okay. Google Docs has a dark mode now on iPhone, so that helps a lot. I love dark mode.
How you liking the new iOS? I download them like every 3 updates.
The thing I like most on the new iOS is that I can watch videos while I'm using other apps. So if
I would imagine that kill my battery though.
It actually doesn't as much as because the videos are playing in the background anyways, so it's just pretty much just showing it off. I mean, I think they did like another like mini update because before my battery was like heating up, and it fixed it. So I think they're relieving some issues with it, but I like it. That's kind of the big feature that I've been using the most is just I could peruse Twitter and watch videos at the same time. So that just makes it a lot easier. Let's see. Let's go with. I already talked about that. Let's go. You go, girl. Gosh, let's start with that.
Let's do it.
All right. So I was gonna do this last week, but Andrew came up with a more lightning-oriented one, which was completely called for. I actually remembered that, but I didn't remember to use it as my highlighted woman in sports. So this time I've got a different one, and it's Sarah Thomas. You know who she is, Charles?
Sure.
Maybe she's the only female NFL official.
Oh, I'm more a part of I think her name is Becky Hammond, the assistant coach at the Spurs, who should be getting.
We'll highlight some of them as well in the future. But
but good for Sarah Thomas.
Yeah, Sarah Thomas. So she's in the NFL. She went to the University of Mobile. First female official in the NFL. Well, she's got a lot of firsts in her resume. That's one of them. First female official in a college bowl game. That's another one. She played softball in high school, played basketball, and received a scholarship to the University of Mobile. So, and then she started officiating back in 1996 and basically moved up the ranks bit by bit. I guess rec leagues, and then high schools, and then college, and now the big times, NFL. And this came to my attention because the NFL tweeted out a pretty cool tweet. They had it was the Cleveland Browns versus the Washington football team. That's always funny to say.
That, or can we just call them Redskins and just accept the fact that what it is?
I like calling them the football team because it's kind of like they're irrelevant anyways. So we might as well just give them a relevant name.
But shouldn't we just call them, the Washington sports ball team? Because that's always kind of like the millennial memes of it.
Yeah.
And I think they should really run with it because meme culture is what pushes a lot of those young attendees anyway. You got to be hip to be square, right? So, too hip to be square? Something like that. Huey Lewis. Huey Lewis kids once educated us on this.
So,
but
yeah, and it was most notable because it was you had the female official and you had 2 female coaches on both sides of the field, basically. So one on the Washington team and one on the Browns. So that was a pretty cool moment in football history. Of course, you had the trolls and not just trolls, but people who genuinely hate that.
Misogynist.
Yeah, misogynist,
Same people who hate Doris Burke on the NBA Finals, even though she gives clear-cut analysis of how to play the game.
Or Doris Burke or whoever, just people like that. That just they can't handle it. They're all up in their feels. So that's my woman in sports highlighted for this week. So yeah, there you go, Sarah Thomas.
Can I piggyback on this? Because what I think is important is when it comes to officiating, all it is just knowing the rules. So if you have a problem with somebody who has probably better eyesight than Ed Hockley Jr. or I don't know if he's a junior. I mean, she might not have the guns like Ed Hockley has, but I bet you she has a better clear vision because damn it, did they miss a lot of pass interference or Jerome Booger.
I'm surprised we don't have any in Major League Baseball because I mean, how many times can we look at Joe West's quadruple chin?
Oh yeah, well that right there is just a monopoly, pal. Someone's got to be recognized.
Or I think Angel Hernandez is on one of the umpiring crews in one of the bubbles. So that is not going to please people. I met Angel Hernandez, by the way, a long time ago when I was I think like 12 or 13. Yeah, he was at the batting cages that me and my dad were at, and like gave me some tips. I'm like, okay, well.
I wish you applied it to real life. Jesus. But I never got that. And then, because here's the thing, it's not like we're...
So I get the criticism against him, but I'm like, he was a pretty nice dude outside of the field.
Look, you can always be nice. Yeah. Everybody's a nice person.
Yeah, you can be nice and suck at your job. That's true.
I'm sure Hitler was nice to somebody, but still Hitler.
No. No. I know Andrew's not here, but no.
The point being is that some people don't do their jobs well enough, and a lot of them tends to be umpires or refs. But I don't understand the criticism for officiating. I don't understand the commentary for it, because even if you say, well, she never played professional basketball in men's sports, well, there's an obvious answer. You either let them, or you respect the fact that WNBA is just as effective for the players who turn analysts, or that anybody could be fans of the sport and be knowledgeable of it instead of some jackass who just plays NBA 2K and thinks he shoot threes every time. That's how you win.
That's the stigma against female, any woman in sports, whether it's a reporter or a podcaster or a blogger or an athlete or an official or a broadcaster. It does,
or even worse, an executive.
Yeah, or an executive.
You literally just need guys, like an MBA and some business administration going on.
There's always a stigma against them for being in that position and extra scrutinizing by people, and it's like, well, sheesh, man, they're a lot better than you are, So
especially since NFL and baseball is not really this, except for managers, is a victim of recidivism. And when it comes to hiring.
And we're not simping here, so we're not doing that.
I wouldn't even know what that means.
You don't know what simping is? Oh, man.
I know what it is, but it's such a weak pejorative that it has no effect to me.
I know.
Because first off, like everything else in today's culture, you had to shorten a word that wasn't even long to begin with. Mm-hmm. So if you said simp from simpleton, you're a tool. Guess what, kids? I'm bringing that back.
I don't know. I got to find out. I got to look at the Know Your Meme section for simping, because it is a whole thing. But it's always funny. It's always funny to see on the internet. There was one. I mentioned him, Cemento Media, a video that he did about simp culture in a sense. I forgot this one chick that was like, I don't know, she wore like a Bernie Sanders shirt or whatever, and a bunch of guys followed her on Twitter. And then maybe 2-3 months later, she posted a picture of her about to go out with her boyfriend, and she lost 40,000 followers immediately afterwards. I'm like, oh, God, did you all really expect this miracle to happen, that you date her, as any semi-attractive woman, and that's how it goes,
Listen, honey, you either talk to us, or we have mustards on our faces, or nothing, right? I don't know. I just never got the insults of it, and I guess it just became a word that kind of got behind. But I mean, simpleton. This isn't 1930s or a simp. I'm like, yeah, I'm just calling him an idiot, right? I don't know.
All right, so that turned into a social commentary towards the end there.
Well, Freddie brings up the best point, and we can kind of ease up on Charles's old.
Plenty of male coaches have little or no playing experience. Yeah, well, I mean there's plenty of male coaches that in Major League Baseball that just get jobs, like Aaron Boone. He's like, hey, why don't you be a manager?
Rest on the laurels of the greatness of other people.
Yeah, and there's some guys that just suck at it, like a certain guy that just got fired from Houston. So, we'll get into that.
We promise.
That'll be fun. All right, so Sarah Thomas, you go, girl. You keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing. keep rising up the ranks. Maybe you'll be in charge of all the officials and solve all of our problems. All right.
Electronic strike zone, please and thank you.
Oh yeah, yes, please. Let's get those. Let's get our robot overlords into this. All right. I guess I can go to the next one. Well, let's get this out of the way too. I forgot to do this one in our Lightning Love Fest last week. That's my bad. We already spent like an hour talking about the Lightning, so I guess I just kind of overlooked it. A Hall of Famer, and I guess it would be more impactful if Andrew was here, but we'll just go with Dave Andreychuk. That's who I was going to highlight. Hockey Hall of Famer. Class of 2017. Left winger. Drafted in 1977. First round, 16th overall. And he of course played mostly for the Buffalo Sabres. And then the Leafs, the Devils, the Bruins, the Avalanche, and most notably here, the Tampa Bay Lightning, because that is the team that he won his one and only Stanley Cup championship with at the ripe old age of 40. So he was one of those guys, Charles, that we were mentioning. One of those guys, those vets that they're getting to the end of the line and they finally win the big one. Your John Elways, you know.
Like, isn't that your best story, your favorite story?
Yeah.
Not even the lifelong guy who was on the team.
Your Ray Borix, your Dave Andreychuk, just guys that toiled, and he stuck with the Sabres longer than he probably should have. A lot of players do, and went to Tampa, even though it looked like Buffalo was the more competitive team at the time. He went to Tampa, and lo and behold, they rise up and win the Cup in 2004. So. And now it's he's the Lightning VP of Corporate / Community Affairs, which means that he has 2 Stanley Cup rings at this moment. He's in the Sabres Hall of Fame and, of course, the Hockey Hall of Fame. He was the Lightning captain from 2002 through 2006. And he played from 82 to 2006. So he ended his career in Tampa, and he hasn't left since.
So let me ask you a question. And this applies to some players who become managers or coaches or a certain kind of administrative in that organization. Does it feel just as good to get a ring or a championship title doing the overseeing of things, or to be coaching, management, or administrative purposes as it is as a player? Because I was talking about Don Mattingly earlier with my coworker. And if he just waited one more year, he would have gotten the World Series ring.
And then
from '96.
You could say that, but then you could think butterfly effect. What if he was what if they couldn't get that missing piece and it was him taking up a spot? I don't know. I mean, even though that '96 Yankees team was full of the brand new guys, you know, the initial core, and then you had the old heads. I mean, was it Darryl Strawberry was on that team? Doc Gooden was on that team. Just a bunch of ancient guys. Wade Boggs as well, just trying to get one last hurrah in the league. So,
but we were listening out because Mattingly missed out as a player, the last hurrah. But then he only joined Torrey's staff from 2004 to 2007.
Yeah,
and mind you, he was the heir apparent, even though Cashman didn't want him for obvious reasons. But he wasn't even there for the final run of titles that we had for it. So it's just kind of like, are they stuck in kind of that kind of hell that comes in? So it's always curious to me as you have somebody, and look, I don't know enough about hockey structure, but if you're any kind of community outreach or what have you, I think it's just as valuable if you do anything to set up with any working relationship with the talent and have the talent out there. You know, you don't get a ring if you're a soda pop guy, but you get a ring if you're, you know, helping even a nutritionist, the team nutritionist, the team doctor, in my head, can at least be worthy of it.
Yeah. I mean, they hand out rings to everybody. I think a lot of teams do like the big ring, and then you got the smaller ring that has less diamonds on it, but has like the overall shape anyways to some of the lesser quote unquote staff. So I think either way, it's still an accomplishment. if they're handing it out to the janitor, I mean, you are a championship janitor.
Well, I
You
told
could
you when
say
I
that to
met
people, you know?
I told you when I met Pat Pepler, who
Yeah,
was
yeah,
on the
at the
organization, and they gave
GNC or
him
whatever.
rings.
Yeah,
Yeah, Vitamin Show, they gave him the rings, man,
yeah.
and it was no joke. So that's kind of cool to me because it's just like an added perk,
Yeah,
right?
I'll take a ring. You know, I don't care what I do. If the Marlins were to call me and just be like, "Hey, you want to just scrub toilets for us?" It's like, sure, I'll stop being an attorney. Why not? Yeah, what's this? Jeter's got a super team popping out here. Sure, I'll scrub toilets for a season and see if I get a championship. Why not? That's what I would do. Come out with that ring. I can always go back. I'll pay my dues. Don't worry. I'll do my CLE. That's fine.
Worst comes to worst, I hawk my ring for my advantages. But I can say, hey, look at this.
Yeah, I could hawk my ring to pay off my student debts. Oh. Yeah, so that's Dave Andreychuk. This would be a lot more impactful if Andrew was here. I'm sure he could say some things. But
remember, Andrew technically was not a Lightning fan in 2004.
That is true as well. Yes.
So, love you, Andrew, you're out there listening, but his words are just a distant. It's like being a friend of someone that you barely met that loaned you a pencil in high school.
So, all right. So that's Dave Andreychuk. That's our Hall of Famer. Let's get another one out here. Better know minor league team. And because your Yankees won the first battle in the battle for the American League East, we can say the true battle for the AL East. The Rays will hang up a banner, but this is most assuredly the true battle for the AL East. We have the Staten Island Yankees. That is who I'm highlighting today.
There you go.
So I like when minor league teams are pretty close to their affiliates, their major league affiliates. I like when they all kind of have like a common theme. Like a lot of the Yankees teams are called the Yankees and have a similar-esque cap to the Yankees NY cap or whatever, or at least the color scheme and stuff. I know
it's like a bloodline.
Tampa changed to the Tarpons, which is a historical team in Florida, but it still kept the Yankees colors and stuff, which I can get too. But it's kind of like my wish that the Marlins minor league affiliates were all kind of nautical based, but not all of them are. I wish
Miami Minnows.
The Miami Marlins, Jupiter Hammerheads, the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, and then after that, it's just a hodgepodge of stuff. So I wish they all went with a fish or sea or water nautical theme. But anyway, Staten Island Yankees, that's who we're focusing on. Made in 1999. Watertown Indians and Oneonta Yankees, they kind of merged those two teams together to make this team here in the New York Penn League. Single A short season affiliate of the Yanks. They've won 6 titles now and play at Richmond County Bank Park, Staten Island, New York, which has a fantastic view, by the way, in the outfield. You just see the city. You just see Manhattan in the background. It's a fantastic point to put the ballpark. And that opened in 2001. Holds about 7,171. But we'll get to the interesting guys here. The notable alumni. I'm sure, Charles, there's a few there that you'll recognize, and some guys that, of course, went down for a rehab start or two, because it's not that far from the Bronx. So it makes perfect sense to send them down to Staten Island for some reps. And there you go. I mean, and they've retired 5 numbers. Jackie Robinson, which needs no explanation. Chin-Ming Wong, Robinson Cano, Brett Gardner, and Jason Anderson are the 5 retired numbers that they got there. But there's plenty other Yanks up there that you can recognize. David Phelps. I remember he pitched for. I mean, the Yankees sent him to Miami.
I forgot Willie Mo Pena was there.
Yeah, I didn't notice Willie Mo Pena. You got Brett Gardner. You got, of course, Robinson Cano.
Phil Koch, Melky Cabrera, and his steroid-taking self.
Yeah.
That's right. Mark Melicon was just hanging around. A guy who, only got bigger later in life, I think.
Yep.
Same thing with Ian Kennedy. And that's the thing people need to realize about baseball. You know how many people are under the radar when they're young, and you really don't know what their expectation is going to be if their development is slow.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these guys, and we're not talking about necessarily, and mind you, I'm not necessarily saying guys who are just getting slowly introduced versus the guy who are getting down on their whole startup because they were injured or need to get some simulation in there. There's some guys who just kind of toll around a little bit until they're ready, until they're called up. I'm trying to see if there's someone, God, Jesus Christ, Jeff Carson's.
Yeah, but
yeah, I
I
remember
mean,
that
that's
horror show.
sometimes you'll draft guys and they just won't pan out. There's one guy on the that was on the Indians. Is Josh Naylor. The Marlins drafted that guy. I remember he was pretty pudgy coming out of high school, and then I don't know if he even came up with us. But then we traded him to San Diego, and then he came up with them. He got in shape and all that stuff, and then he hit some. I think he hit a home run in that series against the Yanks with Cleveland. So he made it, and he's part of what they're doing in Cleveland. So sometimes it just doesn't work out with your team. And then you had some of the guys here that did rehabs: El Duque, Jose Contreras, Kevin Brown. I forgot he pitched for you guys too. Let's see, Phil Hughes, Octavio Dotel. There you go. And their mascot is Scooter the Holy Cow. That is their mascot.
I just wonder how that's gonna look. So we're gonna have like a cow like Chick-fil-A with a halo on it.
Let's hold on. Let's see if we can get a look at him. Scooter. Come on. I want to type this in. Come on. Why aren't you? Oh, no thanks. That's why. All right. Scooter the Holy Cow. So that's him. Let's see. Hopefully there's no Rule 34 that pops out for us. There he is.
He kind of looks like Jeffrey the Giraffe's cousin.
Yeah.
Okay, kid. So Jeffrey the Giraffe was the mascot of Toys R Us, the greatest place on earth as a child.
Oh yeah. I love Toys R Us. Way back when, I mean, it was always. I don't know about. I mean, I went to the Toys R Us that was in West Palm Beach for like the longest of times, and it was always magical because the video game aisle at Toys R Us wasn't like. It's not like GameStop or where all the games are all empty boxes are all over the place, or Walmart or Target where it's behind the big giant glass, whatever. It was like the paper slips.
Mm-hmm.
The paper slips. So
it was nothing more exciting when you did get it.
Yeah.
Just going and grabbing your one thing.
So I wonder if there's like an image of that video game aisle.
And the fun part of it, they never let me down, even as an adult, because I remember when I wanted a Wii and they were in such high demand and low supply, and I just walked in and I just got it.
Yeah, there it is. The paper slips. You just go, and yeah, man, that was the magic. You knew that the game was in stock when they had the slip there. You just pulled it out, and then you went on over to. And the video games were in like this section, like this kind of there was like barbed wire and just like a chain link fence around it. That's where like Toys R Us kept all the good stuff, the expensive stuff, and you presented it to the guy, and he just looked in the back, and he popped out with your game, and that was it. And you paid for it right there. It was magic, man. It was magic.
We don't have that. Look, I will tell you now, that was, and I think you would agree with me, that was more gratifying than clicking the free day shipping on Amazon.
Yeah. It was like, because, when you went, especially, I mean, when I went, because, like, we didn't buy video games a ton, at least early on when I was a kid.
We also didn't have money, because...
Yeah.
Those N64 games are expensive as hell, man.
Yeah, I mean, because this is way beyond what the Staten Island Yankees are, so we've completely forgotten about them. But,
that's right.
But
better know a franchise, better know an establishment now.
It's freaking. Is that Carlos? No, it was that George Springer. I can't tell the two of them. Or Carlos Correa. They're both. I mean, Carlos Correa is, man.
Well, we're gonna talk about him later.
Oh no! I mean, God, man. No, that's George Springer. Never mind. I think he's a free agent after this too. So
yeah, he is a free agent.
Okay, so yeah, man, Toys R Us. It was you went and you went over, and it was like getting a golden ticket, because you knew your parents were gonna buy you that game. And
yeah, there was no window shopping.
Exactly. Like he just pulled it out. I'm like, this is it. I earned it. I got the A's on my report card, or it's my
Well, you're not
birthday.
even just thinking that. You're getting a game and then possibly Hot Wheels. So you guys gotta understand, it was like an immersion.
Yeah.
You're getting a physical toy and digital.
I remember when I got my Game Boy Color. Oh man.
And all the accessories.
The lime.
Getting stickers, man.
It was just the lime green Game Boy Color with Super Mario Bros. Deluxe, and because I had wanted either a Game Gear, for those who do know, it's the Sega version of the Game Boy. It didn't last long. It was terrible for a lot of people, but I had Sonic on it. That's what I wanted. But for the longest time, wanted something, a portable handheld game. I didn't even have the Tiger stuff, which were crap anyways. Those Tiger electronic games.
Mm-hmm.
And the Senators just used Alex Trebek and the Jeopardy set to announce their pick. Really? I missed that. I haven't been watching the NHL draft. I've kind of been sitting out of it, even though I should be paying attention because I'm a Panthers fan. And there's a chance we could make some trades.
Where are you picking?
I think we're 12th or something like that. Somewhere around the middle.
Bad.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it, and you're like, meh.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Titans being at 14. It's like, what can you do?
This is a transition year. New GM, new everything. It's just going to be like a... But, man, Toys R Us. And there's the lime green Game Boy Color right there on the photo. Yeah, that's what I got. That lime green Game Boy Color, man. And, God, man. That was a magical day. That's when things changed. I'm like, oh my God. And I got my Dreamcast at Toys R Us, too. Yeah. I got my Dreamcast at Toys R Us. I forgot. I don't. I think like New Super Mario Brothers Wii. I also got that on Toys R Us too.
Nice.
Just magical times, man. Toys R Us. You're a better know minor league team. All right. So yeah, Staten Island Yankees. Let's see. I did Hall of Famer. Did You Go Girl? You know what? Because Andrew's not here, and I think we can be a lot more meaner to these people. Let's go hug, bump, scorn. All right. I think we can go in on some guys that we don't know, and we're gonna keep focusing on football teams right now.
Basically, it's not your fault that your mom and daddy's genetics made you frightening, cool, or just somebody we want to avoid at all costs.
Yeah, and remember, there's
or punch in the face.
Yeah, and there's no criteria. It's just what we feel. If we know something about you that makes us want to punch it, we'll do it. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with the Atlanta Falcons because there's a lot of people who would scorn these guys, punch
Dan
these
Quinn
guys in the
straight
face.
up punch in the face.
Yeah, I mean this is the team, the Atlanta Falcons. So let's see if we can get a good look at their roster here. All right, they got their team photos. Hopefully, it's not just a bunch of action shots when we go see them. Ah, crap! I guess I'll have to go to ESPN and pull that up. So let's go to ESPN. Atlanta Falcons, because man, what a garbage dump of an organization now.
Yeah. Some backstory: when you have a too kind owner.
Yeah. And Aaron Rodgers also trying to shut some people up. So.
Nah, not me.
No, still no.
Not me.
Still no.
No. No,
still no.
If
Rodgers,
you play if you play a 5-year-old with if I play a 5-year-old against a perfectly height basketball court, I'm gonna make shots. Little man ain't gonna make shots. Sorry.
Okay.
And I'll dunk on him, and I'll go like Shaq, where bam, midsection, gotcha.
Okay. All right. Fine. Okay, so we'll go with the first Falcon here. We'll talk about Aaron Rodgers, the Packers later, and whether you not believe on them or not. The 0-4 Falcons, Takaris McKinley. There he is from UCLA, 6'2". He's got a big old smile there. I'm not.
I like Takaris.
Yeah, I'm hugging that guy.
Yeah,
I'm hugging that guy. Sheesh, man.
We're not unreasonable.
No, we're not. So yeah, we're definitely gonna give that man a hug. We're gonna be like, it's gonna be.
Takaris McKinley looks like the guy that the minute you come into his house, he has a beverage ready for you.
Look at that. He's already got a sack this season. So
yeah, look at that. He was a first-round draft pick, I think, either last year or 2 years ago.
2017.
He has contributed to nothing, but it's okay because the Falcons, if you're a defensive player, never contribute to anything.
All right. All right.
Unless
Well,
you're Grady Jarrett.
oh, I mean, God, great. There's Grady Jarrett right there. There he
Look
is.
at that. Let's look at Grady Jarrett.
Oh, look at him. Yeah, that's a guy I'm hugging.
Yeah, but he also looks like he's about to like sucker punch you.
Really? Is it the
Maybe.
eyebrows? Is it the eyebrows that do it for you?
I think it's the smile that doesn't hit his eyes. It's like that little bit of ha ha, keep laughing, motherfucker, and then he just pops me in the face
All
because
right.
I say something stupid.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. All right. 2.5 sacks so far in this season. All right. Let's go back to the full roster here. All right. Oh, Matt Gono. Will you go or will you no?
Should
Oh,
I stay
Matt
or should I
Gono.
go now?
Hmm.
He looks like he's thinking about hard on life. He's like, did I leave?
Yeah.
Did I leave enough food and water for my
That guy
pets?
needs a fist bump more than anything
Yeah,
right now. He
yeah.
he needs a it's gonna be okay, pal. All right.
He looks like his mom just told him he can't keep the kittens that his cat just gave birth to.
Yeah, he looks kind of he's like, man, God, man, I'm on the Falcons. Oh
Mom,
no.
I already named them.
All right. By the way, Lovecraft Country. I kind of want to see that.
So here's my thing. I'm so behind. If I'm behind on video games, I'm behind on TV shows.
I'm just getting to Schitt's Creek's newest season that got put up on
I
Netflix.
just started it. I'm on like I so side note, but we'll talk about it on our other miscellaneous statements. Is it just a very watchable show and not funny, or is it funny and that's why I watch it?
I
Because
mean,
I feel like that in the first season, and I'm done with the first season.
I
So I'm like, all right.
think I think it's a watchable show. I think it's more. I don't think it's about it being hilarious, like because I don't think I've laughed at this show like I laughed at, let's say, The Office or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe one or two episodes that were like where I laughed out loud, but it's enjoyable. I like all of the characters. It's a very feel good type of show. It's Canadian, so it kind of goes down smoothly, which a lot of Canadian. I guess I could say that about a Canadian show.
I mean,
Yeah,
my other favorite Canadian show is Letterkenny, so I would agree with you on that.
yeah.
But Josh Harris, because we
I'm
could talk about
scorning
this
that
the whole
man.
time.
I'm just,
Um,
I don't know, man. I'm just
I
gonna.
don't know if I could say things that are PG appropriate about first that facial hair.
Oh no. Yeah, I'm scorning you, dude.
Yeah, I'm
There's,
scoring
there's
you.
something about it. There's just something about it that's not
You know,
sitting well with me
you're
at
a
all.
guy I'll look down to, not in the eye. Sorry.
Yeah.
We
So
don't know what it is. Sure,
Matt
he's a nice guy.
Matt Hennessy, are you gonna take some Hennessy with this guy or not? Because he
Um,
does not look very happy.
no, Matt Hennessy looks like the guy who's like, I'm about to go to jail. All
Yeah.
right. He just got pulled over the cop, and he's got all the MDMA just hanging in there.
Yeah. Yeah, Matt Hennessy is not a guy that I want to get near at all.
His favorite beer is Coors Light, and then
Regardless
he
if there's a
thinks
virus out there, I'm just not getting near him.
Coors Light, and he has a replica of all of Dale Earnhardt's wins. We avoid Matt Hennessy. I'm scared of Matt Hennessy.
Yeah, yeah.
So what is it? It's hug, fist bump, or
You scorn him, I
or
guess.
scorn.
I mean,
All right.
yeah. We're not going
We should
near
just
him.
change it to roast.
Yeah, roast. Yeah, that
We're
could.
just
Yeah,
going
I could
roast.
change that. I could always change the name. That's fine.
Bump,
Yeah.
hug, roast.
Yeah, but yeah, we're just not getting near him.
Yeah.
We're just not going to get near that man. Olamide. Oh man, I am not going to pronounce this correctly. Zacchaeus.
I think his last name was Zacchaeus when I
Zacchaeus?
was listening to the
Okay.
show.
All right.
Olamide Zacchaeus. I don't know. That's a very like that's a chiseled marble face.
Yeah.
Looking like he's actually in the Pantheon.
Yeah.
Over in Greece, like and also you have a very like power. I think he's a Greek god.
I mean, yeah, he's a wide receiver.
I'll fist bump him.
Yeah.
I'll fist bump him. I think he'll help me on the battlefield when I say Ares help me, and I'll just become Kratos in and of itself.
All right. Let's get some special teams guys. Sterling Hoffrichter. Not
It's
giving him a
denounced.
hug.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think I can scorn him. I'll give him a
I
fist
can't
bump.
scorn him.
Yeah, he's a punter.
Sterling looks like the guy who, after a few drinks, tells everybody that he loves them. I start like,
Well,
we're
I mean,
cool.
I
You get a
guess
hug.
scientifically men say "I love you" first. He's a rookie.
Yeah.
Don't hurt him.
Well, damn, we already
Yeah,
went too deep.
2020 Syracuse. Yeah, no, man, that's nah. You get a fist bump, dude. Good luck out
Yeah.
there. You got an average of 40.9 yards per punt. That's fine. You got 15, and I mean, you're gonna be you're gonna be busy this season if the Falcons are looking to blow it up. That's for sure.
Damn right.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go to next guy here. I mean, heck, we can spend a lot more time on this now. I mean, sheesh.
I mean, it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
I personally love it because I'm a catty little person, so it's fine. And I realize how petty I am, but I've always known this, you know.
Jamal Carter.
Looks like a Jamal. Jamal, what you got for me?
Looks like a Jamal.
Yeah, fist bump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what that effect is, and I mean, he's got kind of like.
He looks like a secret One Piece fan.
A what?
A secret One Piece fan.
Oh.
You know, the show One Piece.
Yeah. He's got the anime hair on the side.
He just want to make anybody to keep.
It
keep,
doesn't
like,
move. The hair just doesn't move, regardless of what's going on around him. It's just. Let's see. He went to University of Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we really did much, but that's 4 seasons. Actually, I think they called him up from the practice squad because they brought up last night. I knew the name sounded familiar. Yeah. Freddie just pointed out from came. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, there it is.
But you got to remember that 4-year transition. We know a lot of people. Like, I think within the 4 years, aside from Homer and DJ Dallas, the other bigger name that got in there was Brad Kaya, just being an undrafted rookie for, I think, what is it, Detroit, and then he went to Carolina.
He's in Carolina?
No, Kaya's out of the league.
Oh, I was about to say, I'm like,
we got picked up. I think it was 5th round in Detroit, and then they pop him in there.
Yeah.
But we've always had like Miami produces, you know, possibly starting quality linebackers and defensive players. They just don't produce drafted quality starting linebackers and defensive players. Okay. All right, so that's my thoughts on Jamal.
All right.
I think they really just signed him last week or 2 weeks ago, or they put on the practice squad.
Keanu Neal.
Keanu Neal, yeah. Poor guy, he just can't stay healthy. Yeah, I would hug Keanu Neal.
Yeah.
Keanu Neal's that one-arm hug guy. You come in, hey!
Yeah, he's got a big old smile there. Looks very...
But if we were friends, I'd just probably go, whoa, all the time.
Very approachable. Alrighty then. Keanu Neal. Keanu Reeves.
The Matrix.
I'm sorry that I feel this way, but I like some of these names. I just can't. I just think of the Key and Peele segment. I just
hey Aaron. Or remember, I can't say Yannick Ngakoue, and I think it's either Freddie or probably was Freddie who had to help me pronounce it phonetically.
Yeah,
that it was BU.
Okay, Matt Ryan. What are you gonna do to him? What are you gonna do, Matt Ryan?
All right, so I said something, but I don't know if it's appropriate in this chat. But
he's got okay. So I have an opinion of it. He's got he's got that the creepy middle-aged guy look to him now.
Well, now because he's like 36, man.
Yeah,
but
I know, but still,
I'll keep in this. Something tells me, you know, Matt Ryan, and this ain't Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan is a humanitarian. We love Matt Ryan. No. I was defending his position last night. But if you're basing off of looks, Matt Ryan looks like the guy who, you know, who he might turn into Riley Cooper after a few drinks. That's just what he looks like.
Oh, no.
And for those who don't know Riley Cooper, research it. I'm not spending our airtime on it. But you know, Matt Ryan just looks uncomfortable around people. If just in that photo. So if you remember Adam Gase.
Freddie.
Listen, I defended him, and I'm gonna defend Matt Ryan on this whole juxtaposition. When you are literally handed Dan Quinn, and then everybody else that came in before him, Mike Smith, a few other guys that came in between, and they're like legitimately trash at building a defense and just say, hey, rest on your laurels. He is the Hall of Fame for very good players, same way of what Matt Stafford's going to get to. Granted, he is also a one-time MVP, so I'm like, listen, I know that sometimes it's a popularity contest, but that's still something we give credence to, right? Granted, more running backs should always get it, but that's a different story. But I can't say he's poo-poo.
No.
Because at the end of the day, you know, I think when 30 teams, because there's always going to be the two who does it, but when 30 teams would gladly take him, that says something, right? Granted, I will take the argument that he's had Julio for like 8 to 9 years to support him. I think the time is coming to an end though, because the Falcons need to blow it up.
Matt Schaub is on this team. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Matt Schaub came back. He's their backup.
Oh wow.
So Ryan, I would
What is?
just kind of scorn. I would roast. That's it. And then Matt Schaub's cool.
Yeah.
You know, if you guys had to pick a jersey and pick a number, what do you pick?
If you had
I
to
don't know, man. I
choose,
go with my date of birth, so or like around that time frame. So I think with QBs they only go what 1 to 15.
yeah, something like that. They're not allowed a super high number, so
So I can only pick 8.
1 to 19. So, oh, that goes the 21's out for me. I always choose 21. I guess number 10. That seems like a number.
I will want something nobody else has. That's why I always kind of like Cam for having 1.
Let's see. Tua's I think number 2, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Number 3, who wears
I would pick
who wears
8.
a number 4? Who wears a 4?
Favre.
Oh, that's right, Favre.
And that's the thing. You can't wear that because you're never going to beat that, right? Yeah. Everybody's going to have it. The same thing with Peyton's
Matt
number.
Ryan's wearing a number 9. Steve Young wore number 9.
Oh, wait. Let's see. Freddie sent a link. I'm going to build upon it.
Ourlads.com. Depth chart position QB. Yeah, 16's Joe Montana. 12 is Tom Brady. 13's Dan Marino.
Yep. I mean, Ace Lamar Jackson, so me and Lamar. I'm better than him as a quarterback, though. I'm better than Daniel Jones.
John Elway was a 7. So, 6? Who wore 6? Anybody wear number 6?
Right now, number 6. I don't see it.
It was like Johnny Unitas or something like that.
No,
he was 9.
Baker Mayfield.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can wear a 6, I guess. That's up for grabs.
Yeah. 9's Joe Burrow, so maybe guess that. Roethlisberger's 7, Watson's 4. I can fight Phillip Rivers. It's all right. I probably, and then Gardner Minshew. I can't. Listen, when I had my cop stash 2 months ago, I could put Minshew Mania to work. Right? We could do this. Brett Ripien has number 4, and I think that's hysterical because he was really playing like Brett Favre. We're like, hey, I'm just gonna toss it. Mahomes has killed number 15. We can't have that. Derek Carr's number 4. Okay, so Derek Carr is basically lower level Matt Ryan at this point, right? We can all just agree. Very accurate. One playoff thing, and then the rest is just a product of bad teams. Herbert's number 10, so that's interesting because I haven't seen a lot of it. Tyler's another number 1. Nick Mullins at number 4, which makes sense because I think he even came from Favre's old college, if memory serves me correctly. All right, but bring it back, Matt Schaub. Back to your original segment. I would kind of hug him. He looks cool.
All right.
I get behind it.
Okay. Well, I think that's enough Falcons that we can go through. They're an 0-4 team. We shouldn't spend too much time on them. They're a dumpster fire now. So, maybe not to the same point as the Jets. That's a whole different story.
It's two different things, man. There's the person who's out of shape because they just got out of a car accident. There's the person who's out of shape because they keep stuff in their mouth with FC Cheeto chickens. And the Jets said the Falcons are 2 different variations.
Yeah. Let's see. So, let's get back to this. Let's see how the NHL draft is going. Might as well.
Let's switch it to NHL.
Let's look in on it.
Even
though I'm not tracking it as much as I probably should be. Given
I'm gonna proctor it. I'm gonna proctor NHL because that's what I think I could do best as my inquisitive for you. I read that they're aiming for January 1st.
Yeah.
For the start of the season.
That's not gonna happen. I really don't think it's gonna happen. You still have the scenario where you have 7 teams that are in Canada, and we don't even know how Canada is gonna handle things by that point. They might not even let teams back in. The reason they went to the bubbles in Canada was so that they could all be in Canada and not have issues getting in and out of the country. Just do the whole tournament there, and then that's it. But now it's unless you do bubbles in the USA, which I'm sure the Canadian teams will be against. So that's I don't see it working for some reason. I just don't. Um, okay, so we got the.
Could we have it a world where or in CV world, you see, I didn't finish it, forget you demonetizations,
Yeah, doesn't
where
matter.
we could have a completed season, but we can't even have a fresh new season. And what kind of paradoxical BS is that?
Yeah, yeah. It's. I just don't see the NHL getting back by January 1st. They'd have. I mean, it is
Same
already.
thing would be for NBA though too.
Yeah, but I mean, they don't. For the most part, they just have to worry about one team that's outside of the U.S. and it's Toronto, and I'm sure they could play in Buffalo too if they wanted to because they have an arena.
Yeah,
Um,
and you don't have that high demand of international players either. Mind you, that might affect because what's NBA usually based off on? European players. Yusuf Nurkic,
yeah,
Jokic,
Giannis is European.
even yeah, oh yeah, I guess. And then yeah, he is. I'm not saying that ignorance, but he's gonna be wanting to chill in Miami for a long time. All right, guys, let's pray.
Mm.
Uh, Ricky Rubio somewhere doing things in Phoenix, accomplishing nothing in his life. But yeah, okay, so you're 12. What is your biggest need, you would say? I mean, you did make the round robin tournament. For you, from what you said on the show, it's the equivalent of making the
Well,
playoffs.
all right. So let me go through here. Of course, the Rangers picked Lafreniere. That was just a no doubter. Is consensus number one from everybody. And so New York and LA 1 and 2. So the NHL is probably happy about that. Two of their bigger markets got picks. Ottawa, Detroit, whatever. Yeah, and the Panthers at 12. Needs for the team. Well, it's not a goaltender because we just spent a ton of money on that guy. Even though we could draft a goaltender just for the future, that would make sense too because the Panthers haven't done well developing their own goalie. Really, ever. They've always traded for guys to come in here, and they just somehow do miraculously well. Van Beesbrook, Luongo, Vokun, even Jose Theodore had a good season his first year here, and I guess the the guy who didn't do that was Sergei Bobrovsky. So we'll see if he has a bounce back year, even though his games in the bubble were better than his. But it's defense. The defense of this team is lacking completely. There is. It was a glut of offensive defensemen, which is not good if you're trying to. If you don't have an offense that can essentially put up 6 goals a night. And so look, Bobrovsky didn't have a great year. I get that, but it wasn't his complete fault for the amount of goals the Panthers were giving up. A lot of breakaways, a lot of defensive breakdowns. We got rid of Mike Matheson, who was one of those guys that Del Talon gave a ton of money to when he was young, expecting him to grow, and didn't. And we had to eat some of that by getting Patrick Hornquist, who also has a big contract. But at least we got an offensive guy that can help with us there, and he's a veteran, and he's got a Stanley Cup and stuff like that. But it's defense, some more grit on the team. We've already made trades now. Our new general manager, Bill Zito, is probably going to try and do something akin to what the Blue Jackets have done. Blue Jackets made a trade today as well. So that was news. But and there were rumors from the NHL writers that I've been following that the Panthers are busy on the phone lines trying to get some pieces, move some pieces. There's rumors that we're trying to cut payroll, which I guess for a virus shortened season makes some sense, especially if nobody's going to show up, even though nobody shows up to Panthers games anyways. Those jokes will come in. But needs are depth in the system. The Panthers have had, I would assume they're going to go ham on their scouting departments as well, because I don't think they've developed an NHL ready player on their own. A guy that went from the minors to them and succeeded and stayed there. Somebody that they didn't have to trade someplace else just so he could have change of scenery and do better someplace else. I think it's like 2014 or something like that. It's something ridiculous. It's been like 6 seasons since we had a steady guy that's popped up into the NHL and has stayed there and has been an integral part to our team. So that's what we're going to see if these guys can draft well and actually get guys and have what the Lightning have in a nice stream of players that come in, and even if you can't sign a guy and he has to go away or just payroll, the salary cap is too much and you just have to let somebody go. You have another guy, 22, 23, whatever, pops in and does what he has to do and is already good from the get-go.
So is the new GM keeping with the vision of the coach, Quinn, I think is his last name?
Joe Quenneville. Well,
Quenneville, yeah.
I think I don't know if they've had some history together. I don't know if this guy worked for the Blackhawks at some point, but I mean, Joe Quenneville is a Hall of Fame coach. He can do whatever the hell he wants. Some people think he could bolt for Seattle, but I don't see that happening either. That's kind of a hard task to do, especially if you don't know what's going to go down with Seattle, as the previews for Yankees and Rays are popping up on the bottom right of the screen. So we'll have live reactions, I'm going to assume, during that. They're going to be jacking it in San Diego. Yeah. I think Joe Quenneville has to be consulted with a lot of these. In fact, I think that he probably was like, yeah, get rid of this Matheson guy. Good job, Freddie. We all watch South Park here. I love that. It's just so. I know exactly why they did it, but that was funny. What was it? The Panthers have to console Quenneville, and they've gotten rid of Matheson, who I'm assuming Quenneville didn't even want anyways. So they're going to get guys that can play his system. Maybe a little mix of what the Blackhawks were and what works now in hockey, but it's just a matter of time and see what's going to happen. I have no expectations unless something huge goes down where they trade somebody big on the team, which the GM has said everybody but Barkov is on the table, essentially. So you could trade an Ekblad and get a haul for him, or trade a Huberdeau and get a haul for him too. I wouldn't want to see that, but if that's what you got to do.
How does that make you feel as a player when your general manager and coach says everybody's untouchable but you, and you were putting on all-star quality performances?
Well, I mean, Barkov's a huge Miami Heat fan. He knows the deal, man. Yeah. Right? He wants that culture in the Panthers, and if that's what you got to do, I'm hoping he's looking at Jimmy Butler and getting some inspiration for next season. I'm hoping he does. Because we need that from him. He didn't really show up that much in the bubble games. Yeah, that's all I got for the NHL draft. I don't have any other opinions about it. Haven't looked up on it. I don't like talking prospects. I hate it. I hate talking come back to me when the guy actually shows up for the real games. Don't talk to me about him in the minors and things like that, because it's just the freaking hype. I hate the hype.
Which is relevant to remember when we did the NFL draft special, and we were just so bored.
yeah, we started talking about like cereal.
And I still hold true to that, mind you.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, it doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't matter to me. It's like I'm happy with what the Marlins are doing. I'm glad Sixto came in and showed flashes of possibly being Pedro 2 Electric Boogaloo. But he had some bad starts towards the end of that season, of this 2020 season. And we'll see if he can. And he did well against the Cubs. So, hey man, put up or shut up. Show me what you got. Show me what you got, like Rick and Morty.
Show me what you got.
But yeah, I just hate discussing, and even more as a when you're like a fan of a team that has to look at prospects every season because they suck all the time. Eventually, you just get sick of it. Like, oh, are we excited about this guy? Hope he turns out well, and it never happens, and it sucks. That's why I stopped caring a while ago. All right, let's head on over to the middle segment. A word from our non-sponsors. People, places, things, objects, concepts, what have you that you've been enjoying over the past week. And I haven't even given thought to this. I planned everything else in the show, and I didn't give thought to this.
You have one job to do.
I know. Yeah, just like the most important segment of our show, and I forgot to think about it.
I remember there was one time where Andrew was like, my headphones, or like, my lamp. And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, just look around the room like, what? God, man.
I loved it.
Switch. I've been playing my Switch. I've been playing, watching anime.
Hey, you got the anime last week. And you know, my thing is, I had in my head last week, and I'm like, okay, don't forget it. And then I forgot it.
Yeah.
Because we did the double dip.
Hazel is Freddy's. Well, let's look at this, and maybe we'll pop up. I mean, what Hazel in the context of what? Is it this 1961 sitcom?
No, Freddy? The cat.
Hazel the cat?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, chat, that's right. For the one that's right. I don't have the photo now. It was like a temporary thing that Andrew sent me, but all right, Freddy, your cat, Hazel. That's your non-sponsor, man. Okay. Man, trying not to do something too personal, as I can say, like my nieces and my nephew. Because I went over parents, my dad's birthday the past weekend.
Yay!
You know, that was good. Bought him presents. I could say Amazon, but we've already done that too. Do you have one, Charles, or you
I do.
Okay.
I'll take the reins
I'll
of it.
I'll look around in my room and see what I like.
Yeah, he'll come into it. So
this recycling bin.
And I'm gonna do it for what I did today, because today is always. I mean, there's other stuff that I did, but yeah. Or should I just give a shout out? All right, so
it is what it is.
So you know, I had a wedding over the weekend.
Yes.
Right, and you know, putting myself at COVID constraints, because that's always the concern. Because when you know somebody for a long time, and they already had the wedding postponed in March, and they're dead set on having it in October, you're like, F it, fine, I'll just do it, whatever. You know, get it done there and get the job done and wear masks and everything like that, hoping I don't die or contract anything to give to other people. So I'm a little bit of a baller, man. I'd like to kind of, you know, so fresh and so clean, as Outkast said, you know, and still fly, as Manny Fresh and Birdman said in their great, fantastic albums, even though I'm broke as hell sometimes. And for weddings, I realized, like, I don't have a wedding tie in the perfect color, right? So, because I got ties, man. I got ties beyond ties. I have an elephant tie. You know, I have ties that are gifted me. I have, like, a coral pattern tie. I have, like, a purple and pink tie that mix in. Then I got the straight black, so everybody thinks I look like a Mormon with my white shirt and my black pants. So I gotta go with this tie. I'm like, me and my paralegal, because it was when the attorneys get married, this one's on honeymoon, who I'm just, like, helping out. I was like, all right, I want a gold tie, because I've had a lot of weddings. Like, for like the last 2 years, I've gone to like 7 weddings or 6 weddings. It has been ridiculous. And maybe it's not that question. It makes me think that, oh, you know, I got to settle down at 31 and get married. It makes me think, like, Jesus Christ, I got to get away from people who are going to get married, because soon will come the baby fever and they'll vomit on the floor. I'll rather go to 100 weddings in 1 year than go to one baby shower. I don't know how you feel about it. Don't see the point of it. Your kid's not even born yet. Come on, you know, give me a birthday. Don't give me an expectation.
Yeah, don't set your whole Satan fire. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Let's not get too crazy here. We don't even know if your baby's gonna be cute. It's gonna come in, maybe have a mushed head. I don't know. It's gotta develop. You know, I don't know.
Reminds me of that Seinfeld episode with the other baby.
Yeah, sometimes I am George. So I come in there and I'm looking around, and I went to the mall, right? And so I got this beautiful champagne colored tie. Loved it for a good price at J.C. Penney's. I was looking fly. I was wearing charcoal, my jacket, my pants, white shirt, and then the gold. I was styling on it. But I also got a deep berry tie. So I was like, and you guys remember I have my 10B, tie holder that I got about a year ago. That was a
Yes,
launch sponsor,
I
and it's holding
remember.
up all these ties. But just I'm gonna give it up to J.C. Penney's because when in
Really?
doubt, yeah, oh yeah, it's still around. Its last gasp, it'll give around, but it was a pressure point. I'm looking around. The tie is reasonable. I like their attire. They get my parents right and everything like that. And every now and then, your boy's got to look fresh. He's got to look clean. And unfortunately, my vanity and my ego says I got to look better than the groom and everybody else in between, even though I was out of that wedding by like 9 o'clock. I was like, all right, 3 hour wedding, I'm gone. Came in for free drinks, came to say, have good luck, happy weddings, happy tides, enjoy Colorado as I'm busting my butt in 3 counties covering for you. Love you to death. I'm out. I was almost thinking about a bow tie, but I don't have that confidence.
Yeah.
What was I supposed to do? Come in with a bow tie? Oh, is that's right there? The JFR. I think that's it. The gold one that you touched. I believe so. You had already touched upon it,
Oh,
but the
right.
champagne, and it's not
Right there.
gold for you peasants. It's champagne. The
Hmm.
other tie is not burgundy. It is deep berry. I feel like Archer when he's talking about the explanations of oh my god, was that $20 and I paid 30? Fuck.
With the
Damn it.
code stylish.
Oh, I think it's also because I came in with it also included a clip tie or a tie clip. Which
Ah,
listen,
okay.
right now I don't know how you feel about tie clips. I love them because depending what kind of knot that you do, you have to really make sure life and not every tie is conformed because there are narrow ties, there's long ties. I go full Windsor because that is pure like
Yeah.
not even machismo. That's like pure godhood right there. I was once a half Windsor boy. I understand it. I can never do a double Windsor because you need a lot of room into it.
Hmm.
But sometimes your tie is not naturally built. So do a tie clip. So this came in that not only
I
did
used
they
to go
have a
crazy with the
sham.
tying, and then I stopped caring about somewhere in that middle, that second semester of law school. I just this doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, you get that disheveled, I'm broke
Yeah.
mindset kind of thing. Well, for me, I still have core. And the thing is with Zoom at the hearings, it's straight up in your face. So you
Well, of
want
course
that
you don't have
tied
to wear
to.
pants, so that's a great thing.
Exactly, and I just kind of, and here's the thing too, I didn't realize like I lost a lot of weight, so the jacket I usually wore, my blue one, because I had a whole attire set up, but I looked like Batman because it looked like a damn cape, so I was like, fuck, so I had to go into the gray, so that's why the charcoal worked out better. But yeah, so JC Penney's, not only did you get me a champagne colored tie that I will wear for everybody's your wedding, Andrew's wedding, everybody, Freddie's wedding, all the other people's wedding, that's for perpetuity right there, not my wedding. My ass ain't getting married. And if I was to get married, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not spending on the venue. This is the rule for the weddings: backyard, pizza. Everybody just bring their own bottle of drink, mix your own stuff. I don't even need a DJ. In today's world, you don't need a DJ. You need a sound receiver, Bluetooth, and Spotify. I really don't understand this. I mean, I can go, okay, sure, if you want to get catered food, that's fine. I get that too. But I remember one wedding I went to last year, our good friend Brian's loved the wedding, but it was in the church and then everything else. And it was great. I loved it. But I'm like, damn, how much in debt did you pay into it? Or family members? I don't know. My family's poor. They can't pay for my weddings. And you know what? Unless I like bribe them with a grandchild, but then they're like, oh, but you want us to watch it. I'm like, yeah, sure. But bringing it back, JC Penney, I love your style. You know how to compliment me.
Mm.
And so JC Penney's, get your stuff there so it doesn't go out of business. Don't support Amazon all the time, even though you should, because hey, people need things immediately too. Promo code, styling, profiling.
Style and profile. All right. Well, I finally thought of mine along the way, so can't believe I hadn't talked about this one before either. I'm gonna go with Waze. Or have I talked
Waves,
about Waze before? I don't
the
think so.
map thingy.
Yeah, yeah. It seems like something so you take for granted. Really, it's something that you do take for granted that we have this amazing GPS system, satellites up in the sky and all that stuff, and we can just kind of find anything and go anywhere and just know where it is. That's no more maps, no more pulling out a gigantic map and asking for directions from other people. No, you don't have to have those awkward conversations. You don't have to have those arguments in the car. Just stick it onto your GPS. And I use Waze. I use Waze all of the time. And the reason I use it all the time is I live in Miami. And Miami's drivers suck. They all suck. Every single one of them sucks.
Every one of them.
All of them suck. If you're from Miami, if you were born and raised, or if you came here straight from another country, and you didn't live anywhere else, you suck at driving here in Miami.
And if you were once a good driver, the minute you go to Miami, you are corrupted to become a bad driver.
I've tried to avoid that corruption as much as possible. I'm not from here.
Doesn't happen.
And yes, no, you at some point you do stoop down to their level. At some point you do, but then you try and avoid that, and you remember where you remember your roots. And I put on my turn signal, and then I realize that I'm home. Okay.
Do you honk the horn 2 seconds after it turns green? That's the ultimate Miami wake up. I'm like, am I back in New York?
Nope.
The fuck?
Nope. I usually give about a 5 second, and if I can see through the other person's window, if I can peer through and I can see them that they're on the phone, I give them the honk. That's fine. It's like, hey, go, come on now. But
I will say it did make me a better driver living there though, because you don't want to die.
Yeah. Oh no, that's completely the point. Yeah, you don't want to die, and Waze helps me navigate through Miami traffic, even as things are ramping up, and we'll see how many people get sick in the next couple of weeks. But as things ramp up here, and there's more people on the road, there's more traffic, and I need to know, especially for my job, I need to get to courts, I need to get to immigration offices, like 45 minutes away from where I live. I got to get to places, man. And I can't be late. I can't be dilly-dallying in traffic. So Waze finds you the fastest way. All right?
And to tell people, both of us having lived there, and we're not even lifers, technically, compared to some other people that we know, you cannot predict. You cannot predict how much time it would take you to get somewhere.
No.
I lived 8 minutes from FIU, and I remember the one time when President Obama was coming to speak.
Yep.
And I was stuck an hour and 45 minutes. You guys, that's only about 15 minutes more than what you're usually stuck in during lunch hour. And on that day, I learned to schedule my things accordingly.
There was that one day, where I think like an 18-wheeler semi-truck, or one of those 18-wheelers. I think there were like two of them or something. Somehow they got into some sort of crash, and like both ends of the Dolphin Expressway somewhere were completely shot. Like just completely, like you couldn't get north or south. You just couldn't. There was no way. And I remember that day. I remember leaving. I don't know. Maybe it might have been on 95. Somewhere significant. One of those significant roads. I remember leaving, going to school, got there a little later than normal, but still before everybody else. I usually arrived at law school maybe half an hour or so before class started or something. Yep. And but when I got there, I was like, oh, I just got in there, skin of my teeth, whatever. And like half the class was missing. I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? And I remember, I put on Waze, man. I'm like, why is everything red? What is happening here? And then once I finally got to law school and stuff, and I could sit down, nobody else was there. And our professor wasn't even there. It was Professor Foley, because she lives all the way in Key Largo. Yeah, she lived all the way in Key Largo, and she was late for Civ Pro. Exactly. She was late for Civ Pro. And it's like you go on Twitter and it's like, oh my goodness gracious, there's an 18-wheeler and I think two 18-wheelers that kind of crashed and took out an entire highway. I'm like, oh, well then I guess we're not having class. That was quite a day. But Waze has helped me in countless ways. You saw what I did there. You heard what I did there too. Yeah. Because, like I said, I travel, man. I've traveled all over this country. I've gone from I've had like emergency trips leaving Louisiana, having to drive 4 or 5 hours to Houston just to catch a flight because a storm took out the tiny little airport in Alexandria, Louisiana, and I use Waze, man.
So
Tells you
how is it better than either so for the viewers and
Apple,
also for
then
Charles
either
who doesn't do it?
Apple
Well, Apple's
Maps
trash.
and Google Maps.
Yes.
it, it's user based, I guess. You can tell
You
them
can make
what
suggestions, I
you
believe,
yeah,
right?
you can tell people like, okay, the cops are here, the an accident is here, something's on the road here, there's a car on the side of the road here, there's construction here, you can just put that on there and you get points and stuff. I don't know what the points are for. It's kind of like, whose line is it anyway? um, the points don't matter.
It's the karma points. It's
Yeah,
just like it's
you know.
really in truth it's the true paying it forward because I don't feel like I'm paying it forward when I give $1 to the juvenile diabetes
you
at CVS.
you see
Yeah.
on the screen here, you've got the little avatars that you can kind of dress up and stuff if you like. Right now, I have the Batmobile because
Huh.
they kind of like a deal with Batman and DC Comics right now. So I have Batman giving me directions at this point, which is pretty cool for me. I like that, but it's just I think it's better. I just think it's better. Like you said, you could have the normal morning commute that you know the exact way that you're going to work and or wherever you have to go, and traffic happens and stuff happens and an entire highway could blow up or whatever, and it's like, well, I guess I have to go someplace else, and it takes you the fastest way, and it usually is the fastest way. I remember one time, me and my dad left a Marlins game here at Marlins Park. We were headed back to West Palm, and I put Waze on for my dad, and I'm like, Dad, let's go on Waze. They're telling us not to take 95, go and head for the turnpike. He's like, no, we're going this way. We're going this way. And I'm like, okay. It says that there's traffic there. Fine. And he took that way, and sure enough, we were stuck in
Okay.
traffic. An extra 45 minutes. There was an accident on that road, and I told him, like,
To quote
Papi,
Will Smith, parents just don't
there
understand,
you
right?
go. I told you. So there you go. Waze is my non-sponsor. Promo code. Miami drivers suck.
Oh,
Yeah,
said that 5 times fast.
yeah. All right, we're done with that. We're
Sports time.
Yeah, sports center. Our Lord and Savior Derek Jeter's on the screen here. Look at those N64 graphics.
And just like Valorant Act 2, which you can get now available with new agents, new battle pass, new content, Derek Jeter knows how to play high quality.
Oh yeah. So Paul O'Neill, haven't seen that name in a while. All right. Still nothing between the Yanks and the Rays at the moment.
Debbie Garcia starting at 21-year-old. Big pressure.
Yeah. So, and it looks like the Seattle Storm are going to take out that Las Vegas Aces team from that game up there. NBA time. We're almost at game time
Yeah.
here. About 40 or so minutes from now. Game 3, man.
So, disclaimer. Francisco watched it. I didn't
Right.
because I feel like everything I do is the reverse King Midas and turns to poop.
Yes. I didn't want to see the game. But my brother-in-law, after when it was on Sunday or Saturday?
Yeah, it was Sunday.
Okay, it was Sunday. So, I think my brother-in-law finished working or something like that, and so he was because he's working from home. He put on the Heat game. Towards the end, it was the fourth quarter. I saw the entire fourth quarter. I didn't want to see the entire fourth quarter. I was a nervous wreck throughout. The Heat lost the lead at some point as well, and I was like, oh, here we go again. But man, Jimmy, get in my belly, impregnate me, please, Butler. That man. I love him. I love him. He's going to be a great old black man. I know that for sure. He just has that look to him already. He's
the very wise
yeah,
man.
exactly, man. That man's gonna he's the magical black man, like in the movie trope. He's one of those. He's one of those in real life, man.
He's basically Samuel L. Jackson, Black Snake Moan, where he's gonna fix your life up.
But man, the Tyler Hero and that snarl, man.
So let's put
Oh,
this thing out there.
I'm glad
There
that I
is no
saw it.
Bam and no Goran.
There is no Bam. There is no Goron.
So we don't have our top overall best player in Bam, who now has gotten in charge of facilitating the ball as well, much better than he even did in the season and before the bubble. And then Goran, who is arguably our best shooter, percentage-wise, taking smart
And our
shots,
ball handler.
knows how to pass the ball.
Yep.
So we thought it's death before dishonor.
Yep.
And
I was already. I'm like, we're gonna get swept. At least we made it this far and this and that. But Jimmy Butler, man.
Listen, we call him Alfred Pennyworth because he's worth every penny, because that's the ultimate butler to Batman to bring it all together. But it's a mixture of him. It's a mixture of Spo's coaching, Tyler Hero, and of course the minute it ended, the minute I messaged you guys, I watched like the entire. It's everything they can give me shot wise, I took it, and Hero. I talked about with you, I think 2 shows ago. My concern with the rookies was that Tyler was going to take those shots that shooting at 3 for 13 means you don't shoot anymore, but he made the shots, so it was a terrible stat line. And please don't do it next game. But we appreciate that moxie. Duncan Robinson, man, like he has like cement feet when it comes to defense, but he's reliable too. Even though you're going 4 for 12, it's still reliable.
Hold on, there's like a creepy crawler that just passed by me right now. Hold on a second, I gotta kill this. Give me a second, Charles. You take it. I gotta kill this.
I will take the lead here. So our other non-sponsor is basically Terminex to kill the spider that's about to kill Francisco.
Where are my shoes?
Okay, he's gonna die. We were talking about Batman. He's gonna get bit by a spider, become Spider-Man.
I'm leaving my mic on.
He'll be Spider Cisco.
I
think
like
in the background.
Centipede or something. I gotta kill it.
This guy's gonna kill a centipede. He's gonna kill. So Francisco's the guy that would kill a dragonfly.
I can't hear you, Charles.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I took off my headphones. I'm just yelling in the background.
And this is perfect. I'm not even bantering towards it. Sometimes when you see, this is what we get when I get to be in charge. And that's my most beautiful
behind my
thing.
TV. I gotta move the whole thing now.
He's freaking out.
Shit! It's get around my amiibos.
Oof. And ladies and gentlemen, if it's just a centipede, you let it live, right?
Hey,
probably kill a caterpillar.
It's in my room somewhere. I am not gonna be at peace.
oh, this is good. So. Are you back?
No, I put on my headphones a little bit to hear you, but I'm not gonna be at peace right now. I gotta take everything off the floor now. Like I gotta move everything around. Like this is not something I want living.
All right, so Freddie sends something. Yeah, the Tyler Hero mug. I'll talk about the Tyler Hero mug. I was gonna hold off until Dale Gribble over there was done killing every single bug, but I'll wait it out. So yeah. So first off, the Twitter is relentless. That's all I can say. It has no sympathy for Tyler Hero because they call that mug the most the least intimidating mugshot. But the guy's young. He's 20.
No, you are not.
Oh, here we go.
Get back here.
All right, there's a murder about to be committed. On a side note, we're going to thank Genshin Impact. Join Adventures Worldwide now and get 30 free wishes. I have no idea what it is because I only thought we were going to impact it by Valorant. We might have to get a fly swatter. That would be a Francisco spot. But continuing, as he's making background noise, I hope he never gets in trouble in life because he couldn't keep silent with it. So Tyler Hero going into it has that meme mug, and
where'd it go?
It was a good setup, basically. They came out of the quarter. They were able to bring it out because the third quarter, that's why they call it the third quarter, we were not doing well. And the concern was the matchups. You have no Bam. How are you going to balance out with LeBron? How are you going to balance out with AD? But Jay Crowder was putting in that work. Kelly Olynyk was putting in that work. Myers Leonard, who's most recognized lately as being the guy who stands during the anthem with the bubble when everybody else wasn't, with the heart over the hand, was putting in that work. So it's that culture that Spo's leading into.
I cornered it somewhere, but I have to move my desk and my mini fridge.
You're bigger than that, right?
Oh no, but I just don't want. Like I didn't recognize what it was. It's a creepy crawly. It's one of the long ones.
Oh
So
God.
it's something that I probably don't want biting me in the middle of the night. So I
Well, it
have to
always
kill it
brings a
now.
friend, right? It always brings a friend.
I don't know how it got here. So I'll be back. You
Okay,
keep taking it.
I'll continue on the show. I can talk about the Heat and I'll give my analysis.
I gotta get some
It,
sprays.
all right, it wouldn't be sports goofs if there wasn't some goofing around coming in there. So the body buildup's good, and when you look at a scoreboard and you see that the score is like
Please,
114 centipede.
please, and spray.
Thank you, Freddie. Well,
What do
apparently
I do?
we're all murderers
Spray it
because
down,
we go
weigh it
from there.
down with some spray here.
Tampa Bay just took the lead 1-0. That's disheartening coming into it. But regardless, as Francisco's killing things, um, it was a good sign. No one wants to get swept. No one wants to get swept in the finals whatsoever. You want to earn it because getting the Eastern Conference title is something that is not really something that is great, right? If you don't have the ability to win the NBA finals and the NBA championship. But for us, I don't think there's a personal edge, though Jimmy is making it a little bit personal because LeBron apparently, when they took the lead back, was telling Jimmy, you guys are in trouble. And then Jimmy's come around intensity. The guy had 40 points in 45 minutes with a triple-double that mattered, saying, y'all are in trouble. So if you put in a little bit of that, not swagger, not confidence, but mentality, you put in that cutthroat, never say die, Goonies, never say die attitude, it's something that I definitely can get behind. Because is there a possibility that we win? Yeah, sure. Everything's a possibility. But I think it does a good thing if you balance out 2-2. But now we're going to game 4. Bam's in. Goran's still out. Bam, I think they're going to work him in slowly. He has a neck strain that could be concerning if you're doing any kind of physicality, especially if you're going for those rebounds. Can he handle it? What's Spo going to do? Is Spo going to limit him out, or is he going to say, I have you now, and allow Bam to play very well if he's doing well? So it's an idea, but maybe winning one game is in their head. On the Lakers front, what we told you was your weakness is your weakness. Do you have anybody besides LeBron, besides Davis, that can help make you better as a team to help you in case you go on a cold streak? I don't know, because Alex Caruso and his bald head does not surprise me or does not instill any kind of fear. All right,
I
so
did it. I killed it.
Did you go Jimmy Butler on the centipede, as Freddie said?
I'm gonna take a photo of the aftermath of my room, and I'll send it to the group chat.
I will let you know that I only cracked up a couple times, and I kept it consistent like I'm a real analyst with no emotion. You made me have to be the responsible one. I'm not good with that pressure. Don't you understand? I'm supposed to be kind of like the idiot who knows not what he's talking about. You make these people look like I'm competent. This is terrible. Freddie, tell me I'm an idiot. Please reassure me.
Is it the centipede, the bad one, that if it bites you, it's kind of bad for you? It's not the millipede. I think it's the centipede.
All of them are bad. All bugs are bad bugs.
Oh no!
Right?
Well, no, I'm fine. Like I think the millipedes are the good ones, but the centipedes with the kind of like red and orange and that stuff, and they got the little long thing. Either way, that thing was not living in this vicinity whatsoever. I was gonna kill it, and I did. I sprayed it like 40 times. It's a disinfectant spray. There are fumes in my room right now, so I might get a little high, but that's fine. That's fine. Where were we?
All right, so I basically broke down the analysis of Game 3 at the Charles way, which was try not to laugh and put in my fears and concerns. to wrap it up to 3 going to 4, what can you take from the victory they have in Game 3 and is the idea of real momentum, real winning mentality, something that can be transitioned into Game 4 and why it matters? That's how I'm going to direct you to come back from your high of killing something that's defenseless.
I don't know if that thing was defenseless or not.
You weren't gonna find out. That's Jimmy Butler.
Exactly.
We don't know if he can kill me, but I'm gonna kill it first.
Yeah, exactly. I'm hoping, and there are momentum swings and there are rallying points that can overcome a better opponents on paper at the very least. Jimmy Butler needed to do a Herculean effort just to get that one victory. I understand that, and it's going to take something like that again for the next 3 games if the Heat are going to win this damn thing.
But with Bam coming
Anthony
back,
Davis didn't have a good game. I understand that. And if he does even have an average game today, that might do us in. If LeBron performs as he has been performing. I would hope that the hubris and the lack of humbleness from what we've seen of LeBron after what happened last game and the little thing he said to Tyler Hero walking off the court, and then Jimmy stepped in there and took things from there. Hopefully that is a rallying point for the Heat and can get them the victory. Remember, we came into this thinking we had the better bench compared to the Lakers. We had the better guys, and that got affected when, of course, Goran and Bam went down. Now we have to dive into that. We have to have Kelly Olynyk be a better player. And he did step up in Game 3. I'll give him that. I'll give him that at the very least. He did step up and played well. We're going to need more of that. All right? I like Myers Leonard. I do. But
I mean, he's a big man who can shoot threes, so him
right.
and Kelly are basically the same guy.
Exactly. I like Myers Leonard. I like Kelly Olynyk, and I hope they can replicate something like that and do something bigger than. But I'm hoping that this isn't a, I mean, the Blazers won one game against this team. I'm hoping it's not that.
Yeah, but to counteract that, the Blazers are also without the star, the baby, the man god to me of Damian. Yeah. The fact we have not lost that. And that was the thing too. We've been rubbing up on Bam's genitals of greatness, but it was always Jimmy that was going to be the pioneer for this team for the season.
Right. I mean, he's the X factor. He's the heart and soul.
My concern is I need, and it sounds weird, because he's probably not going to see playing time if Goran doesn't come back. But let's just assume Goran's out till 7, man. That's a fair assumption. It's a torn plantar or torn plantar. He's out. Yeah, really.
No, he's gone. I'm not expecting him to come back. I'm not expecting him to do anything.
The scariest thing is that it's Kendrick Nunn, and I need Kendrick Nunn to be regular season Kendrick Nunn.
Right, but he hasn't been that since they got into the bubble.
Terrifying.
Yeah. No. I want to look up what I killed, and it was a centipede.
Freddie, is that good or bad?
So that's it. Are aggressive carnivores that eat insects and essentially any other creatures small enough to them? Are they harmful to humans? Are predator venomous arthropods? Very few are thought to be clinically significant in humans. As many are too shy or too small to cause noteworthy damage. Well then, I just went ham on something that probably wouldn't have done anything to me. I'm sorry. Now I feel guilty for what I've done. I slayed it like it was a dragon, and it was a lovely unicorn instead.
To quote Prince, this is what it sounds like when doves cry.
This is what... Oh,
but listen,
I hope the universe can forgive me for this one.
But listen,
I try not to. Oh, look, Giancarlo Stanton just did a thing.
He just did a thing?
Yes, he did.
Because we were down 1.
He just did another thing.
Did the Giancarlo thing?
Yeah, it's on the screen. You see him trotting around the bases.
Francisco, that's such a tiny little scoreboard all by a screen. All right, let me go on ESPN real quickly.
He just did a thing. A solo thing, but it was a thing.
It's a thing. Man, he is. And remember, what did I tell you all season? All season, I do not care about regular season play for the man. Don't care. It is unimportant. It's not even a real statistic. Asterisks the whole thing. When we get to playoffs, and we're going to say this right now, the wild card series was not real playoffs.
That man is so freaking strong.
But this is where it mattered most, because remember, what is that lineup? That's him, that's Judge, that's home run leader for the AL, Luke Voigt, that's Gleyber Torres, who is healthy, who is arguably our second best player.
Yeah, he did
all
some
around.
Things yesterday too.
Yeah, it's DJ LeMahieu, who is a batting machine, who is also the reigning batting champion, or he's going to be crowned as the batting champion, or the newly anointed batting champion. Kyle Hishigoga, who I like because he doesn't strike out, unlike Sanchez, who I'm ready to be gone. And then Clint Frazier, who is, what they're doing with Boone is he's splitting them. He's splitting Frazier and Gardner
Yeah.
for the hits. So it's good strategically, but I also don't want to break the boys' confidence. But we'll see. But yeah, we'll talk about baseball when we get to baseball. But that was important for Charles. Oh, and also Gio Urshela is a beautiful, little baby boy.
Mm-hmm.
But Heat's thoughts 9 p.m. Let me ask you this: if we lose, is that it? Packing on home?
They're not. Well, they're not going to pack it home, but I think it's it. I could see them squeezing it to 6, but I don't see them overcoming and winning in 7.
This is the one time where I'm happy that we're in Lake Buena Vista because that home field advantage. Because right now I think they would be in LA still, or I don't remember how the format would have been. Or would they be in Miami?
They would be in Miami right now.
They'd be in Miami. The deflated feeling, or no, our feeling. If we had it, we carry over. But if it was the Lakers and they beat us today, because you're going back to LA, I believe.
Yeah.
So you don't want to lead into it. And here's the thing: a lot of people, like myself, don't really believe in the home crowd advantage. In basketball, it kind of is because of the youth of the players.
Mm-hmm.
And they get that.
And really, the essence of the game is more on momentum, because you see the pendulum, especially now with this era of shooting threes. I mean, you just get hot, and everybody gets hot at the same time, and suddenly you can jump out to like a 15-point lead, and then the other team gets hot, and then they tie the game, and then get out to like a 6-point lead, and that's how things are with basketball at the moment. So momentum is huge. It's just and I get that. I get that a young player can be susceptible to the moment. So yeah, if you had to go back to Staples Center, which is, I guess, yeah, you could say it now, legendary location in basketball, that would be effective instead of being in a neutral site right now.
And you know what the scary part about it is? Why I think the reason why you desperately, if you're Miami, you want to win it all this time around is because there is literally no guarantee you're getting anywhere higher than the 4th seed
next season. And
you got to understand, we're not spending money. We have spent money.
No, we're waiting until not next season's free agent class.
2 seasons.
Right.
So it's like,
I mean,
this might be it.
The beauty of the bubble has been the recruitment effort. That's for sure. Especially players have seen how the Heat operate. It's different. So hopefully that will pay some dividends in the next coming seasons.
The problem is who we need ain't necessarily going to be there. But that's neither here nor there yet. That's the problem of also speculating so far in free agency. But Pat Riley is the master of planning. He plays the long game.
Yeah.
Because he had the crazy idea of the big 3.
Yeah. But I really don't want to predict. I don't want to go with expectations. I'm just going to not watch the game tonight. As I might, if Siri tells me, because I've been calling Siri. I've even tried to avoid Twitter as well. I'm just going to be like, hey Siri, what's the score of the Heat game? And she's like, the Heat are currently up, whatever. I'm like, okay. And then I'll check back in another half hour and then see what's going down. I'm cooking some raw. No, I'm not talking. Well, there you go, Siri. And she's on point. She is on point. Star Trek Discovery, they're sponsoring us? What the hell is this?
Did we get that? Oh, you know what? Hey, Andrew loves Star Trek. I could never get into it, but if you want to kind of feel in your inner sci-fi on television and not have to wait for the movie theaters to reopen up for movies that you wanted to see, everything gets pushed to 2022. Yeah. Watch Star Trek.
Is that a video game? It's not, right? Star Trek is
no.
It's just
Discovery?
Like yeah.
I thought it was the show.
Oh,
they
it was
say
the show. Okay,
the official Starships Collection special intro offer.
Yeah, they were showing figures.
Yeah.
Of the Enterprise.
And look, I collect pops. I like cool things that are supportive of things I like I love knickknacks in my office. I'm an attorney. I like to show my personality. Man. I'm a peacock captain. You gotta let me fly.
Yeah, man. Star Trek? What the hell is this?
So, you know what? We talked about this in the group chat, but let's steal it for 5 minutes to transition to the next thing. What is your favorite sports memorabilia to have in your workplace? or what do you want to put in your workplace?
Well, have you seen what I put up in my office?
I've seen the dinosaur with the the Marlins hat.
Jetersaurus Rex. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So,
yeah.
I mean, I got Jetersaurus, but above Jetersaurus is 6 hats, and I change them. They're like these hanging things, and I change them according to my mood and who's playing right now. So right now it's strictly Heat and Marlins. At the moment, I have a Florida State hat there just to, keep me humble, and keep me humble. Be like, yeah, don't get too high on yourself.
But you won.
Yeah, we beat Jacksonville State. Sure, that's fine. We did that, even though they have played us pretty well the last few times we have played them, anyways. So that's fine. I have that, and then on the other side of my desk, like behind me, behind my my monitor's on the wall. I have an L-shaped desk, so on the side that's facing the wall is my computer monitor, and then behind me is just like a blank wall. So I bought this, and I think I had them as a sponsor. I'm not sure, but this jersey hanging thing that you could just put on the wall, and you just hang any jersey that you want on there, hockey, a basketball, a baseball, whatever. And right now, that used to have my Heat LeBron jersey, and I took that down. So
You're that petty. You're like, okay, I have to because of the finals.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as that happened, I'm like, no, we can't have this. We can't be doing this. I have to hang something up there. It's blank right now. Definitely. I mean, I might as well put a Marlins jersey up there for now. But yeah, that's what I have in my office right now. That's what I've got.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. And I've got various knickknacks and stuff like that. I got a Sonic the Hedgehog plushie. So
nice. I do not have a sports memorabilia. I should at some point get one, but I just never popped in because I just have the pop. So I have I technically, if you count a Ric Flair pop as a sports memorabilia, I'm gonna take it for our purposes. But
sports
there's
entertainment.
There's 2 permanent ones, and then I always kind of interchange a few other ones, or just switch out one. So I got Ric Flair, who's a perma. I got Thor from Endgame, who has both the hammer and then Stormbreaker, Mjolnir and Stormbreaker, because I just think it's so badass. I have a Deadpool making chimichangas small figurine, and then I have a Loki and Thor, and then so I'll switch it up, but I always bring a third one. It's just I haven't to, because with quarantine my schedule's been so erratic that I might be 3 days in there in our office and get renovated, so I'm like, all right, I'm just not going to bring my Bibles, but if we make it to the holidays and the building hasn't been renovated yet, I'm going to bring back, I have one of my friends got me a Spider-Man Christmas sweater pop from, so I'm like, all right, that's cute, I'll just pop that in for the holiday themes, because the problem is I like knickknacks, I like to display my personality. You're allowed to have that show of things, and then for $9.99, the problem is I had an ex-girlfriend who bought me all of them, so I was like, I don't know what to do with these, and she's like, you keep them. I'm like, crap, fine. But then you kind of grow fond of them, I guess. It's like having children, right? You're like, oh, okay, sure, I'll show you off to the people. I just have to make sure not to have certain things. But yeah, sports wise, if anything, if I could, because I remember Andrew, so this all started off conversation wise for the listeners out there, for the one, and then Freddie who are out there listening, is the fact that the Russians, the Lightning won the Stanley Cup. Andrew's on a big binge of things he should buy. I think he should buy the ice with the Stanley Cup, puck.
The water.
You want the Stanley Cup on water. I think he should get the puck that has the ice in it, because that's just cooler to me, because it looks aesthetics. But I think the reason why I did it, because the one hockey memorabilia I have is when I went to a Panthers game in 2006, and before the game had started, they were doing their their practice shots, and one of the pucks went over the little barricade, and I just took that. I was like, mine. And then some 3 bros wanted it, and then the girl I was kind of trying to impress wanted it, and then the buddy who drove us there, but I'm like, screw you guys, I'm taking this. Love is not eternal, but memorabilia is. So that's my thing. So it's that's what I would display. So I think that's why I had an affinity for it.
Yeah, I mean, and look, these things have all these knickknacks. I mean, there's specifically a home and office section here, so you can have all of this stuff hanging around. But yeah, little figures, whatever, paperweights. That's all well and good, I guess. I have Marlins masks, so when I wear them, I wear them to uh, when I'm headed to the immigration office. Like, people can see it. Like, hey, it's not just the regular surgical mask. It's I have another thing on top of it to show off a little bit. Um, yeah, just a bunch of stuff here, man. It's just Yankees and Cubs and Red Sox on this, and Dodgers. And well, we know where MLB's loyalties lie now, don't we?
Ain't gonna be the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, Phillies, and I think I saw one Angels thing there, but sure. And the Cardinals, not a single. That's fine. We know the deal, MLB. We get it. All right. Here's a. Let's see. What did I have today for food? Just thinking. I was gonna make some ramen today, actually.
Not the ramen what I grew up on, but the ramen from you, what you talked about last week. That's probably nutritious and delicious.
My personal ramen, at the very least. At the very least, the noodles. Just some noodles and some soup. I have a hankering for it now that it's getting late. A nice late night ramen. I don't have any court tomorrow, so I can kind of stay up today. That's fine for me. And just work late tomorrow. That's fine.
There you go.
Yeah. That's how I'm feeling right now. We're in hour 46 now. So, well, we talked NBA,
MLB and NFL.
We went a little bit the NFL, especially the Falcons. Let's do it. Let's head to the cage. Why not, man? Why not? Because I saw that video, man, and I learned a lot. I did some learning.
All right. So how about this? Tag team Hell in a Cell cage segment. You assist me what you learned and what we can kind of talk about. So welcome everybody.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
Sorry. Welcome everybody to the cage with Charles, your weekly true plex. It's everyday wrestling. Now remember, wrestling is not fake. It is scripted. It is a dance. It is a ballet. It is poetry in motion, and damn, has it been good sometimes. It is men and women chasing championships, men and women getting revenge against each other, pure blood feuds, trying to become the best of themselves, on top of all other things, fighting the existence that is Vincent Kennedy McMahon, and how he is just really busting my balls here, as sort of Eric Cartman would say here. But for some purposes here, let's take it a little bit differently. We're going to go down to
a past non-sponsor on the screen right now.
There you go. The soda streams, right?
The
soda
YouTube algorithm knows what's up, even though they knocked us out for a few months.
So the student becomes the master. Francisco, I'm gonna give you reins. I'm gonna let you lead us. I can give the updates of what's going on, but you tell me.
So I saw this video here. I don't know how I came upon it. I guess from doing the show, the YouTube algorithm has recommended some wrestling stuff to me. So this video, and I sent it to you so you can give it your stamp of approval.
Mm-hmm. It did get my stamp of approval in the 20 of the 30 minutes that I saw.
I found it incredibly enlightening, really, because we talk. You talk about wrestling, and yes, it's a story. The South Park episode, where it's basically a male soap opera.
Yes,
and I get that. I get that completely. And I've had friends that were wrestling fans prior to you as well, so I get the appeal for people when they see it. It is a story. It is live action superheroes in a sense. That seeing this video, making people hate you, just delving deep into the concept of what a heel is, of somebody that intentionally works off of people hating them and using that as part of their persona, as part of their whole deal in the wrestling space. It was enlightening, really, especially the people that he covered from Japan, because I know that you follow New Japan and all that stuff, and the history behind some of the greatest heels in wrestling history from all types of promos from all over the place, including some really bad ones, like that one from the ECW that stabbed the kid.
New Jack.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen,
the guy that was legitimately
playing,
probably not even wrestling anymore at that point.
Yeah, if we were playing Fist Bump, Hug, and Scorn, we had a third option: Run Like Hell.
Exactly.
New Jack will kill you.
New Jack, you put him underneath that sarcophagus at Chernobyl. That's what you do to that guy. All right, he cannot leave. He's in that where they put Magneto in
oh God, yeah.
In exactly in X-Men, in the glass, whatever, and there's no metal near him. That's what you do to him. Yeah, man, this was great. This is a great video. From he went deep. I'm talking deep. You're seeing black and white footage. That's how deep he went.
Well, to kind of give a little background, what I've always kind of said, and I've said it sometimes on my intros, wrestling is a carny. You know, at the end of the day, it's a carnival. It's a way to kind of get the segments and the money and the people to watch. So you want to keep that investment, and I think it's so actually appropriate to the modern day, 21st century appeal that we have of we just like the crap on everything.
Rays just did a thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be like that. This is gonna be the entire playoffs.
Yeah,
they're gonna be doing things. We're gonna be doing things, and that's how it started yesterday. Literally, it went inning on inning.
And Giancarlo did his big thing.
Yeah. And then we're gonna see where it takes us.
Yeah.
But getting people to hate you and wanting to see the comeuppance of that person, because we love criticizing, we like poo-pooing on everybody. We poo-pooed a whole bunch of people, right now. We do it all day, every day, and it allows us to get crowd engagement. It allows us to boo without feeling bad because we're told certain things. But the art of heel work is that it is multi-dimensional. Now, mind you, the problem with wrestling, depending who's the promoter, they're not going to give you the simplified. They're going to be more simplified than complex, right? But you have so many variations. There's the shit heel that we talked about that has to be smarmy and cheats his way out of it. There has to be that dominant heel. I guess if you want to call Brock Lesnar a dominant heel, I don't think of him as such. I think he's a face, if anything, because everybody enjoys watching him. They just might hate him for not being on there all the time. There's the weird character heel, that is supposedly supposed to be the bad guy because he just screams evil, and I think Kane is always the representation of that, from the old WWE days. And then there's the kind of I'm so good that you hate me heel, and that might be the Hollywood Hulk Hogan's, that might be the Ric Flair, but Ric Flair was the dirtiest player game, and then all that stuff. So you get different variations. Then you get the faction heels because people are unstable, especially in New Japan where everybody's stable. Or you just think the NWO, or you think D-Generation X. And then you get the heel because of what they did to become a heel. Not that they're hated by the crowd. If you go to Baron Corbin today, crowd just hates him. That's why I hope when they get the live crowds back, he just wins a title just to screw everybody over. It'd be hilarious. But, it's I betrayed my own tag team partner. Nowhere. I did the big betrayal, like Dean Ambrose attacking Seth Rollins. Granted, that's when Roman had just announced the cancer return, but regardless. But there's a lot of things that come into it. And then the segment I thought that was interesting was Inoki in Japan when Big Van Vader came out. It just puts in this monster, and sometimes it's just destroying a beloved wrestler in that organization, because you get the hokey stuff. Wrestling is kind of hokey. They had the gobbledygook, for Christ's sake. Yeah. They came out in Survivor Series, which was also, I think, the same Survivor Series that The Undertaker came out into. But it's easier to like heels or hate heels. Or how about this? It's it's better to appreciate a good heel than it is to like a face, because baby faces are so hard, because how do you kind of get that in between? Because a lot of times we build that momentum to the faces that we like. It's because they've worked hard and the underdog, the Kofi Kingston's, the Sami Zayn's, when they have those crowning moments, it really brings a tear to your eye, because they've worked hard, they put into the case, they never really had terrible matches. You just like what they do, and they're not just gifted. They're not just gifted a championship a la Roman Reigns.
We have to tell Andrew that Star Trek sponsored us.
Yeah, I know, right? He'll lose his mind.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And he wasn't here for it. That would have been a beautiful moment.
Well, guys, he's
the first non-video game. I mean, God.
Right. That's surprising, too, with some clout.
Yeah. There you go.
Some clout. I didn't even know the responses. I just said it was valid.
I love this, this cavalcade of, horrible heels that they try to make.
Oh, yeah, seven.
Just leave it to Beaver. I mean, this is just, man. My goodness gracious. What were they doing?
Well, they're doing that right now. So let me give you an intro of how they're doing that now. So you have the Hurt Business on WWE, and then you have Retribution,
Mm.
which is former NXT wrestlers Dominic Dijakovic, Shane Thorne, Brandon Williams slash Dio Madden. That's what they changed his name like twice. Mercedes Martinez and Mia Yim. And they renamed them with dumbass names. They look like Bane from Dark Knight Rises. So there's T-Bar, Mace, Slapjack. I wish I was making this up. That's literally what they have been dubbed as. That is their name. And now they just revealed that Mustafa Ali is the leader of it. So it actually makes no sense. So here's the thing. Sometimes in wrestling, you put yourself in the corner and you realize it's chicken shit. Well, it's time to make chicken salad out of chicken shit, you guys. And they're trying. But then you have MJF, who panders to the crowd. Love him. I've been high on him for a while.
Yeah.
He's still young. It's the promo skills. I sent you his State of AEW.
Mm-hmm.
And what he does, and I think what a lot of old school wrestling fans, include not me, because I'm in a weird age where it's like 31, so I'm Attitude Era, but also I was part of the Ruthless Aggression Era where I understood that these were human beings now. But they keep kayfabe. They don't break it, making that they don't break their character even to the outside people. MJF, right. Here's the thing about him. He gave a little kid a middle finger.
Yeah, I saw it
when he asked for
right there. Here it is.
And I loved it because it's so woefully inappropriate, but you're not supposed to like that guy, because if you like the guy, then you get the Kevin Owens situation where he's a bad guy. He literally betrayed his own buddy, Sami Zayn, and put his body over the floor, beating the hell out of him, doing the pop-up power bomb onto the turnbuckle, and you're supposed to be, or on the outside of the ring, you're supposed to like, oh, this is terrible, but everybody's cheering it. So what is a good heel when you're cheering him all the time?
Yeah.
Because he's not a heel anymore, but he's not a face, because the idea is you want to buy the face's merchandise, right?
Right.
You want to move that merch. But ironically, I have a lot more heels shirts that I've bought as opposed to baby faces. I mean, some of the ideas now, AJ Styles the hero, I have his shirt. Adam Cole Bebe, now becoming a face on NXT, but I have his shirt. You know, Rusev, when he had Rusev Day, was one of the only few faces, so it was great. Well, he became a face, so it was good. But then, you know, I have a whole list of things like Velveteen Dream. You know, that was a shirt I picked up. Now he does some weird stuff, so we don't wear that shirt anymore. Tommaso Ciampa, I have his shirt. A lot of heels because there's something great about it. And what I'll tell you now, to get outside the character component, the wrestling moveset is kind of different, at least in Vince McMahon's eyes, and sometimes elsewhere, between a face and a heel, because a heel doesn't do flips. A heel doesn't do top rope maneuvers. A heel is always going to have the low blow. So you can't. It's such typecast. Whereas the face is going to do that high flying, balls to the wall, will hurt my body kind of for anything kind of championship, because the heels are not supposed to do it. So when you get them that buck the trend, we both love it and we hate it as fans because it's not the same. And then there's a new way to kind of become a heel. I think what hurts heels a little bit more too, and I don't know if they touched on the show that we put on the YouTube link, is just the way social media is now, where if you're keeping character, you commit to the character, because now if you're showing.
God, that's hard to commit to, because that's like 24/7. You got to be that person almost.
Yeah, so I can't hate a guy who's just playing video games on his Twitch stream.
Yeah, or if he's out at Publix, whatever, he's actually shopping legitimately for his food. And somebody films him there. I mean, he can't just go into character right there. That's hard.
Tell that to Randy Orton.
Oh, well then.
Yeah. But there's always stories. I mean, like, these guys aren't necessarily your friends. You got to look at that. But it's interesting. So I'm glad that you were able to kind of get that dynamic. And it's something that's always going to expand because you have different stories. You see MJF and Cody and what he's about to do to Cody. Bam. Just the betrayal for no reason. And you're like, all right. And then you have the Fiend, which is a supernatural, supposed to be evil like Kane. But now they're making the Fiend into a little bit of a face. So let's transition to that, right? To modern day wrestling, aside for what Francisco learned. So let's talk about wrestling. New Japan, G1 Climax still going. I don't know who's going to win, man. I still think they're going to do Kota versus Tanahashi, and then we're going to get Evil Kota versus Naito, to which Kota finally gets it. Because remember, you win the G1 Climax, you get a title shot guarantee for the championship at Wrestle Kingdom. But there's some layers of stories that are being brought into it. Sonata has beat his boy Naito. It was the first win that Sonata had in the G1 Climax tournament. What does Naito have besides the IWGP Heavyweight Championship? The Intercontinental Championship, which is something that could perfectly fit around the waist of Sonata. Are we giving a hint that we're going to break up Los Ingobernables de Japón? Maybe. Remember, Evil went evil, betrayed, went to Bullet Club, took the titles off of Naito, but then the universe righted itself and took out the trash and brought balance to the Force. and henceforth Naito has both belts, because if he's going to lose it with the proper story and the proper build, not out of nowhere desperation to keep Bullet Club relevant. It's not even that cool anymore. Gato, get over it. So there's always that mindset, but there's some other names. Jay White, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a Jay White guy. I know he's talented. For anybody who does listen to wrestling, big ups on him for changing his look a little bit with the beard, but I just can't get involved too much into it. But I can get behind it. But I think the natural story is just have Coda, now that he's committed full time, instead of being a free agent or, doing some house shows or contracts coming into New Japan, let him have it, let him get to it, right? Over in AEW world, Cody's back. This week he's going to have a dog collar match with Brody Lee for the TNT Championship. It should be good. My whole thing is that when you do gimmick matches, especially something that's so rare because it's old school, but some people don't even like strap matches. So what's a dog collar match gonna make a crowd invested in, right? I don't know. Like, I get the story coming from that you need to continue it to make the TNT Championship better, because no offense to Jon Moxley, but I just don't care about the AEW Championship, because what happened was, once again, CV hit. Lance Archer was supposed to get a title shot. He got the CV. Now they had to postpone a title match. So you have to kind of up the ante. But now, if you're really devaluing the main championship, and now you're propelling this other championship, and Cody has said, well, the championship, there is no important championship. It's the one that matters the most, the one that has the best story built. And I agree with that, but it's still the title that looks the best, the AEW World Championship. It's not the title that looks like part of an accessory to the Red Power Ranger from the TV show that we grew up to. But I do love what Brody Lee's doing. I'm happy that he's getting some success, because he's a very smart, intelligent wrestler who's very gifted for being nearly 7 feet tall and putting in that work. And I do love his burn, because he said, I'm going to put that dog collar around your neck to cover that hideous tattoo. Because Cody, love you.
Terrible neck
Follow
tattoo.
you on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter. Charles the True. I forgot yours finally. For weeks I had it.
It's on the screen. You can see
it's on the screen, because I usually go Dan Frijoles and then I go FJOJR, right?
There you go.
There you go. I had to remember it. And then Sports Goofs. Cody, follow us. We will always love to have you talk to us about why wrestling and such. But, man, that TNT Championship is not my favorite. But it's something that they have to do. And they're going to build into it, and we'll see. So AEW is getting that forward movement going. They're going to have a singles tournament. I think the logical story is going to be Hangman Page versus Kenny Omega. Former tag team champions, now going to turn bitter enemies. I like it. We're going to give Omega that edge. He wants to be a singles wrestler. I think he might be the guy who eventually takes that title off of Moxley, too. And I can get behind it as well. This week, Jericho's celebrating his 30 years in wrestling. Interesting to see what they do there, because he's been losing a lot to put over some guys like Orange Cassidy. But, are we going to give him somebody new? Eddie Kingston, once again, boy, your promo skills are top notch, and you already know it. You got that confidence to understand it. But what we can do with you? Because right now you're managing Butcher and the Blade and the Lucha Bros. Lucha Bros are part of Death Triangle with Pac. Pac's over in England, stuck because of the CV. Very interested if we're going to do kind of like a quasi thing, or are we going to bring you back with LAX or Ortiz and Santana once they break away from the inner circle? So it's going to be a slow build, but it's building into it. WWE, as you see Cody with a dog collar match.
Yeah.
WWE, Raw and SmackDown building up to Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell is that structure where it's supposed to be the most intense, dangerous
That's the one
situation
completely covered, right? The whole thing.
Yes, the whole thing's. That's what you know about Mick Foley. When Taker threw him off the top of the building, he goes like, "Oh my God, they just killed Mrs. Foley's baby boy has been broken in half." Side note, Ali is now leader of Retribution. I'm about it. I like it. I'm not amazed by Ali as a character. I know he's talented, but you just might be fixing this. You just might be. Now it makes sense. A guy who has been repressed by management, because you got to remember, a year and a half ago, the guy was in the main event of Fastlane challenging for the WWE Championship, and then his push has been all completely lost. Push meaning you're going to get the spotlight. So now making him a faction leader to right wrongs of what he felt he's been slighted for, I can get behind that storytelling. Especially if you break the fourth wall a little bit and be like, and F you, Vince, because you know me, I'll buy anybody shit that says Vince McMahon just needs to die. I don't know. He doesn't need to die. He's an okay guy sometimes. He just needs to step it up a little bit with the wrestling, or just step back and let Triple H take care of it. But if you bring in that edge and intensity, because fans like that too. In storytelling, you want a little bit of honesty in there. So if you can bring, isn't that what made the Attitude Era so good? Because Steve Austin really made you think that he hated Vince McMahon. Steve Austin really made you think that he would try to kill him to get a chance. And you rooted for Austin when he was fighting the Machine. So if this is what you got to do to get it, I'm in for it. Why not? Um, SmackDown, they're doing some weird stuff. We're getting Roman and Jay part 2 in Hell in a Cell, and Francisco. I love that match. The first one that they had Clash of Champions. I don't know if I'm gonna love the Hell in a Cell match because it's a different kind of storytelling. But they're building up Jay. They had him beat AJ Styles, and if AJ Styles puts you over, who is arguably the first or the second best performer on that roster, something good's coming your way. Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton, gonna be in Hell in a Cell. That's fine. I'm ready for Randy to have that title. He should have had it 4 months ago. I'm ready for Drew to lose the title and get an opportunity when crowds come back in to be the leader of that establishment, that brand. There's other stuff that they're still building out there. I still love Sami Zayn and his whole Fidel Castro look going on there because he's the great liberator. So I'm like, all right, wrestling and storytelling, but I'm like, all right, he has like the green attire, he has like the green hat coming into it, he's got the beard, and I can't wait to see how he loses that momentum, loses the championship, or does he turn face? I don't know, because we're creating characters, so he's reprehensible right now. But we remember where he roots from being a good guy. So that's sometimes from a heel to a face when you're initially a face, coming back full circle. But I told you about him. He had the little secret keys and stuff like that. But let's talk about my love. NXT. There was a pay-per-view. Takeover 31. The last couple takeovers were good. I didn't like In Your House that much. I thought it was too slow, but the one in August was good. Now, Takeover 31. The card starts out with Damian Priest versus Johnny Gargano. It was a good match, like a 3-7-5. We're really going to try to push Damian Priest as the big guy who's really just a kind of tweener of a face and a heel. Johnny Gargano, I don't know what else you got to do. I don't know what else there is to do except getting called up to the roster. And I don't even think that would be beneficial because even though you're talented, that's Shotzi Blackheart. She's going to be hosting Halloween Havoc on October 28th. For NXT, so it'll be another special themed edition. And that's a good thing about the two shows being on Wednesdays because they're always going to try to one-up each other. That's Toni Storm. She is the former United Kingdom Women's Championship. Now she's on NXT full-time. So Gargano and him, that was a good match. You could have been a little bit better, sure. Kushida and Velveteen Dream. For Kushida, it was a godsend because that means he's going to get a title shot probably at Finn. Because you need to build that in. You need new feuds. You need new main stars. You need new characters getting opportunities. You can't retread everything, with the same stories over and over again because that's how you get fatigued. Tag team titles weren't defended. Everybody has CV. That's why. Women's Championship, Candice LeRae, Io Shirai. It was fine. It was a good match. There was some weird, weird storytelling going on in segments because Johnny comes out with the referee shirt, trying to fast count for his wife and whatever. I don't like that. I like NXT to be my more true traditional wrestling as opposed to the soap opera stuff. But at the very end, Ember Moon came back. She had recovered from, I believe, double Achilles surgeries on both her Achilles. And then, she was out of work for about 18 months or, not out of work, but out of the ring for 18 months. So good for her. And then you have Toni Storm and now she's coming back. But I'm just like, what are we going to do? That roster and that division, man, is so stacked that either Yo is getting called up soon or Yo's getting called up soon, which she probably will off their Survivor Series, or they're just going to take more of the women's tag team from NXT and put it in there because they have the NXT or they have the women's tag team championships to defend. But let me talk about the match that mattered so much. Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly, can I just tell both of you thank you? Because I was satiated. I was fulfilled because I knew the other matches in the card were just going to be good to fine. But you guys put on a 20-plus minute foray of great storytelling, physicality. I loved it. Both mouths were busted. There was blood coming in there. Kyle O'Reilly, who I always felt was underrated because every tag team pay-per-view that he had when he was defending the titles, Undisputed Era, was just fantastic. And he's always been healthy. He's just very cerebral. He has a mixture of MMA and submission wrestling. He's a tiny guy, but he fights big. And then Finn Balor's been doing good given the opportunity that he has to carry this brand now that Karrion Kross got hurt. Because, card's subject to change. But the match was just beautiful. And I tell people when they think wrestling is just purely silly, watch that match. You want to see the soap opera? Watch Roman and Jay. You want to see the physicality of two men fighting over a title and it felt a little bit like heavyweight, even though both guys are probably under 200. Finn looks like he hasn't had a carb in 10 years. And when him strumming the guitar, I love it. I'm ready for him to go back to the main roster because you guys got to remember he was on the main roster, got pushed down because he's just too talented in there. But I'm loving it. The match was so good. They told a story about an abdominal injury done to Kyle because Finn kicked him, and people didn't know if it was a legitimate injury or not. And that's the whole beauty about wrestling. If I can't tell, that means you are selling it so well that you have done your job. I was enthralled. I knew Kyle wasn't going to win, but damn it, man, I felt it. And there was storytelling on Finn's legs because Kyle's attacking because one of Finn's finishers, the coup de grace, which is a double stomp off the top turnbuckle. So if I'm stopping that, if I'm preventing that, we're building to it. It was physical. I felt like Randy, since we mentioned South Park, I felt like Randy when, he just basically has the ejaculant on him at the end. That was me because, guys, it was just good. Look at this clothesline that he's about to do. And he botched it a little bit, but he got him. And when you heard it, the sound was there. And then straight to the Pele kick leading into it. It was just good. And at the very end, you get a little taste of what the future is going to be like because Ridge Holland comes out dropping Adam Cole's dead body basically to the ground. So it took out a little bit, but then it's going to solidify Kyle and Adam as faces, and I think they're going to break up with Bobby and Roderick Strong as they become heels. So sometimes that's what happens, and especially these guys are going to get called up. But the match was just pure good technical wrestling with aggressiveness, some hard strikes. It felt like watching a New Japan match in WWE, basically. And I loved it. It was great, and it's going to be match of the year because nothing's going to change that. Granted, I love Roman and Jay, but the wrestling was just average. It was the storytelling and the soap opera aspect of it. But this was my shiz, as the cool kids say. And that's all I got for you this week.
Alrighty. Okay. I think we're good, man. I think we'll end it on that note. Heat game just started. They're tied 7-7. So that's the only update I'm gonna give, and then I'm gonna check up in half an hour and we'll see what goes down from there. 3-1 between the Yanks and the Rays at this moment. And yeah, that's it, man. Thanks everybody for whoever joined us and whoever's going to listen to this in the future, because I got to post all of this to all the other networks and podcasts and all that stuff so everybody can listen to it later. I'm done. I'm going to make some ramen. I'm out.
Later, everybody.
Foul ball. Strike. Line drive to left center. A 2-out single. Coming up, Ricky Goody.